Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris the Candyman, and you already know what time it is. We're drafting best ball teams tonight. We're getting after it. We're in these streets. We've got week 17 memorized. We've got the bye weeks memorized. If you haven't done it yet, come on in. Let's learn them. Let's figure it out. Let's draft some teams. Let's get that sweet week 17 correlation. It's going to be a fun time. I'm excited to draft tonight. We're going to kick it off with the Best Ball Mania starting soon and give you a little preview as well of what we got cooking up next week. So we're going to be streaming all weekend and pretty much every night, barely taking any nights off. So if you're new to the channel, if you're watching this later, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. We're going to be doing best ball content, fantasy football content all summer long. I've got a 500 subscriber goal that I'm working towards, and I need your help to get there. Go ahead and hit a like on the stream. And if you're watching this tomorrow, I left a question in the comments for you. Go ahead and take a peek. And then if you feel inclined, leave a comment with your answer to my question that I've left below this video. And I'm interested to see what your responses are. Next week, starting on Monday night, 8:30 p.m. Central, BALLSY with Bindles and myself. It's going to be our first episode. We're going to be doing Dynasty rookie draft reviews of the teams we've drafted. We're going to draft a Best Ball Mania team. We're going to talk best ball. You're going to want to be there, so tune in. And then Tuesday night is also going to be a new segment that we cooked up. Shout out to Al Boogie for coming up with the name. It's going to be Tool Time Tuesdays with Chris. And my first guest on is going to be Billy Jones. We're going to be talking about the data, reviewing our models, our spreadsheets, that kind of fun stuff, getting nerdy. And so that's going to be Tuesday night. Wednesday night, we're going to have Emo Cowboy on the show. We're going to draft a Best Ball Mania. And we're going to have a great time. So look forward to that one. Thursday night, following the sibling showdown, we're going to have Meg from the Fanspeak Network on the show. So get pumped for that. That's coming up too. And then actually tomorrow night, we're going to be participating in some Fast Draft Fridays. So if you're new to Fast Draft, check it out. I've got a link and a code you can use in the description to this video. They've got a lot of cool tournaments going on right now. If you've been watching the channel for a while, we were drafting a bunch of Fast Draft teams and did a few on stream too with PPR Tyler before the NFL draft, but we're getting back into it. Tomorrow is going to be a fun day for that. They're launching their Discord. They're ramping up, and it's exciting time. So we're going to be doing some of those rookie-only drafts over on the Fast Draft app. So look for that. And then after we do that tomorrow on the stream, I'm going to be going over to Nick Bach's stream. I think we're going to be drafting some eliminators with Sus Edwards as well. So that's late tomorrow night. Be on the lookout for those. Let's kick it to the intro. But overall, it's like the guy can ball. Like actions speak louder than words. Here we are, and we're in it. A 30-second Best Ball Mania starting in 5 seconds. This is number 16, I think, for myself. Oh, none other than Chaz Michelson in here. Let me see if you're in here. Certified ball knower. Do you know that you're in the stream right now? Are you here? Say what up, my friend. I've been chatting it up with him on Twitter lately, actually. Talking about our Burrow double stack attempts. If y'all saw the one I posted from last night, I got close, but I really didn't get that close. The Albatrosses, copy paste dates, they're looking pretty good. It's early. It's very early, but looking good so far. How are yours doing? I've got a bunch of them, and it's just Thursday. Some interesting scoring coming through, an interesting leaderboard that I don't think many saw coming. So there's plenty of time to make up ground tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. What up, Dad? How you doing? 8 spot. ADP would have me taking either Puka or Ginty. My ranks, I would go Neighbors, and then Collins, and then Brian Thomas, and then Puka, then Amon-Ra. After all those guys after Ginty, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. And I was thinking about this earlier today. I think I'm making a new rule for myself where I don't want to let Christian McCaffrey fall out of the first round. So I'll grab a Ginty here. These are my updated. Well, I think I'm missing the draft from last night, but these are relatively updated Best Ball Mania tournament only exposures. And so that's what we're seeing here. So this is my first Ginty team. Unless I don't think the team last night was a Ginty team. I can't remember actually. I'd have to look. That's the only. I think the one Best Ball Mania I did last night on stream isn't included here, and it wasn't Ginty because we started off Chase and T Higgins. So I'm getting a share there. But like I was saying, I think I'm gonna make a rule for myself that if I have the 11 or 12 spot pick in McCaffrey's there, I'm probably gonna take him every time for a little while and just see how the news plays out with his health. Because if he comes back and he's even, 75, 80% of his usual self, he's still a really good pick at the end of the first round. So I kind of want to get my exposures early on him, and then we'll just see how that goes. But it's hard. It's hard because I don't want to fade any of these other players either. I'm really high on them. I probably am fading Puka the most right now, which doesn't feel great, but with his injury history, Devontae Adams going there, who knows? I feel like I'd rather slightly fade Puka than miss out on Brian Thomas or Malik Neighbors or Nico Collins. Or Amon-Ra, really. I mean, Amon-Ra's damn good for best ball. One of my three is good in lead, but who knows? Yeah, it's still early. Have a great Friday, copy paste dates. Appreciate you checking in, my man. We'll catch you on another one soon. What up, Putt Daddy? How you doing? Did you watch any of the PGA today? No spoilers. I mean, I haven't gone back and rewatched it, but I'm going to a little bit later tonight. Catch some highlights, rewatch some things. I'll wake up and listen to the Second Cut podcast in the morning with Rick Gaiman and catch up a little bit. I saw some things out of the corner of my eye about like how the leaderboard was moving around today, but not too much so far. Boom, little banner. Might as well throw the banner in. What's up, fam? How we doing, Who Hames? Appreciate you stopping by, my man. Okay. I could do something I did on BBG stream and take Derrick Henry with Ginty. I'm going to go AJ Brown. Apparently, I don't have AJ Brown yet either on this one, on any of my current Best Ball Mania teams. Love AJ Brown. All about it. And it seems like it's going to be kind of chalky to get Nico Collins with Ladd McConkey. So I'll make an effort to mix it up there, not always take Ladd with Nico. And I've been ranking AJ Brown ahead of London and Ladd McConkey for a while. I'm concerned about the passing volume, but I'd be more concerned in a format like the marathon where it's season-long scoring. When you only need to win week 17 to take home the grand prize, the $2 million, AJ Brown can be the wide receiver that wins you any week. He's got that potential. I think Ladd can maybe do that too, and Drake London, so don't get me wrong, but I I think AJ Brown's just better than them. Even with the limited passing offense for the Eagles, I'm going to have a lot of AJ Brown exposure. What up, Jeff? How you doing? Yeah, about to start your tape. Nice, Putt Daddy. About to catch up. Very good. How's it going, BBG? Another fun Typhel Tower. Jeff says, underweight on Puka and Adams because Stafford sucks, essentially. Yeah, that could be something. It's tough. The Rams are still a pretty high scoring offense, right? So let me pull up in the Rams on my other tab. The Rams were about they were 16th in the league last year for passing touchdowns of 22. Not great. They produced the 10th most receiving yards per game, about 240 receiving yards per game. So that's decent. They threw downfield. The average reception went for 11 yards, so it's ranked 11th in the league. So I think they're still decent. They only scored 21.6 points per game last year, 20th in the league. So they're not as good as they've been before. So you might be onto something there. Could be onto something. I've been snatching up Rashee Rice in the beginning of the third. The whole, idea of taking Rashee Rice in the second or after you take Trey McBride, get Rashee Rice in the third, or get Rashee Rice in the second and then take Marvin Harrison seems pretty logical. Or doing that with like Jamar Chase as well. Just getting different combos there. Back on the clock. I'm tempted to go Chase Brown. Based on my ranks, I'm going to go ahead and take Chase Brown here. I don't have any Chase Brown in Best Ball Mania yet. So I'm building out a completely unique team for myself. I've got 3 players that I haven't drafted on my Best Ball Mania teams. I think I'm through 14. So this is the 15th Best Ball Mania. No, I'm through 15. This is my 16th Best Ball Mania. I'm pretty sure somehow I haven't picked Genty, Brown, or AJ Brown once, which seems hard to believe. But that's what the exposures are saying. Seems kind of hard to believe. So we got the bye weeks in here now. Appreciate you, BBG. And Lalsimo, what up? What up? How you doing? Got Chris B in the house. Appreciate you. Yeah. Copy paste dates. You're supposed to be going to bed, you said. But I do agree. AJ Brown, a cheat code. He's been a first round pick for years. The Eagles are going to be a good offense again. Yes, they're going to run the hell out of the ball. But AJ Brown was injured last year, and I think it's a little bit of recency bias that he's going after guys like a Drake London. It's hard, though. I mean, Achane goes number 12th, goes 12 overall in this draft. So it's like, who do you got to move down to get AJ Brown up? But I think he's worth it. So with Genty and the Raiders, they're playing at home against the Giants. The Giants players really go a lot later. So I'm going to, besides Malik Neighbors, I'm going to cool it on trying to match him up with the Giant. We've got the Eagles facing off with the Buffalo Bills, right? So this could be a spot. And Chase Brown, I don't think I want to pull anyone up. James Cook's there. I don't want to force it, though. I haven't taken a lot of him. I might just go Lamar. Go Lamar here. I think that'd be a pretty sick start. there's zero chance that Zay Flowers comes all the way back around, but if he does, that is on my hit list of stacks that I want to get. I forgot to upload the graphic again, but I have a short list, maybe 8 different combinations I want to try to get in the next week or two, or as fast as I can in Best Ball Mania. One of them is Lamar Jackson with Zay Flowers and a tight end. So either Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely, which makes it a little bit easier to pull off. But I just want that double stack with what I think is going to be his 2 primary pass catchers, Zay Flowers, and then assuming that it's going to be Andrews or Likely, one or the other. It's pretty easy to get Rashad Bateman, so I didn't include him in that one. The other stack I really want to work towards is obviously more Terry McLaurin with Jaden Daniels, but I want to get it with CeeDee Lamb too. And then I also want to get a CD Pickens Dak team pretty soon. I wish I'd loved Chase Brown as much last year as I do this year. Yeah, Bo, I know. Right there with you. I had a decent bag of Chase Brown last year just because I think I was lucky enough to have him in some dynasty leagues, and I was really into his profile, his size, his speed, the things that he was able to do in college, handling a workload at Illinois, and I knew he's a little bit older of a prospect, so I thought maybe if he got the opportunity, he'd be able to. He's already got the experience, hit the ground running, and then the Bengals just being a high-scoring offense. So I was getting a lot of Chase Brown. It didn't pay off huge for me. I didn't really get any big tournament wins last season from any Chase Brown teams. I think my 2 finals teams both had Chase Brown, but I didn't hit for me in week 17. But yeah, definitely still going to go back and get some Chase Brown. He's very expensive right now. We've looked at his profile. He's a volume-based play. He's a touchdown-dependent play, but he's in an offense where they're going to score a lot of touchdowns. There's not that many other options behind him, right? You got Zach Moss coming back from injuries. Is he going to be the same? Are they, what's going to go on with Zach Moss? He's never really held down a big role on any team he's been on, even when he was with the Bills all those years back. The different teams Zach Moss has been on, but I think Chase Brown can still be really good. I think he still probably pays off pretty well as a round 3 pick right now. So I've got Genty, AJ Brown, Chase Brown. I got Brown and Brown, Lamar Jackson. Of course, Zay goes. Cortland Sutton goes, another pick I really like. Jameson, Pickens, all my favorite picks. All these wide receivers in round 5 that I love are gone. I don't think I want to go Kittle. I might just grab Harvey then. It seems like a great spot for Harvey. And then I like Kittle, obviously, but because I took the elite QB and I still have a chance to stack Lamar later, if I don't have Zay, I'm going to definitely want one of those tight ends. If I take Kittle now, it just kind of restricts that. And then I need to get more skill position players and leave the window open for a late tight end kind of build. I think that's smart the way I've been doing it. So we got the Chiefs playing at home against the Broncos. We've got the Bengals are playing at home against the Cardinals. So I love that, although I don't have any Cardinals yet. And James Conner's like one of the last good ones. Love me some James Conner, though. If I took James Conner, I'd be done at running back. I would do hyper fragile and just build out with those 4. And then I got Lamar to carry the team. I could figure out wide receiver. There's some bills that go later if I want to build more against the week 17 game with Philly. And then, of course, we've got the Ravens playing the Packers, right? And it's going to be cold. It's going to be in Green Bay. The Green Bay pieces go pretty cheap and they go later, so I can figure that piece out too. Connor goes, so I'm not going to build that way. I think I'll end up. I could take Matthew Golden as my second wide receiver. Could do Olave. Saints play Tennessee. Golden, like I said, would be a piece of that Lamar Jackson stack. So I'll probably end up doing that. And I have him ranked this way anyways. I don't think Kamara on this team would honestly be pretty pretty strong as well. I do need a wide receiver, but the way the board's falling to me, it's looking like I could be in line to take Kamara. I might do it. What's my next pick? My next pick is going to be 80. Sometimes Golden falls there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Kamara here. Go for the points. Pretty interesting team. I've got 4 running backs through my first 6 picks. Lamar Jackson, Ashton Genty, Chase Brown, RJ Harvey, Alvin Kamara. I can probably stop at running back. I've got 4 different bye weeks, so that's also very nice. Going to have 3 of these studs any given week. RJ Harvey running behind the number 1 run blocking offensive line in the entire league last season, Denver Broncos. They're going to run the ball more than they did last year. They've got a good running back now. Of course, Genty's going to get his touches. He's going to eat. Cincinnati Bengals, one of the best offenses. The Saints might be in trouble, but they're going to lean on Kamara. He's their guy. He's always produced. Even without the touchdowns, he can put up the numbers. So if he has the touchdowns, it could be a huge season from Kamara. A.J. Brown's going to hold down the wideout position. Now we put in the work. We play some catch up. We got to grab some values. We're kind of in the middle of the board, so we're in a good spot to do it too. Yeah, who Hames? I'm not drafting Deontay, but I get the sentiment. We got Triath in here. How you doing, my man? Lamar's A45 would be pretty all-time. I know. I tried to pull it off. Oh, more of my targeted combos. So I named a few, Jeff. Another one of them on there is I want Stroud with Nico and Higgins. That's a pretty obvious one. One of my combos, and I'd probably want to throw Lad in there too, because now we know the bringbacks. A lot of these combos I thought up before we knew the schedule. What's one of the other combos in there? I've got one with Love and Golden, and then the hope would be to get, I think I wrote it down as Reed, but now that they play the Ravens, you could also throw, like, you'd want to get Love, Golden, Reed, and maybe Zay Flowers would be pretty sweet. Or Derrick Henry, actually, was another way to play that. Would be really nice. Yes, 100% Trioth. You got it. A Chase Brown and a Kyron are the exact same profile. You're hoping they get a lot of touches and are on high-scoring offenses, and they don't have much competition behind them. That's the profile for sure. Disbanded. What up, brother? How you doing? Brown and Associates. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Bo. I'm trying to think what other Browns are on the board that I could get. Let's take a look. Let's do some brainstorming quickly while we've got a minute. What other Browns could we get? We could throw in, there's the literal Browns. I could throw in Hollywood Brown. I could throw in Diami Brown, Noah Brown. There's a few good Browns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best Browns, of course. That might be fun for the memes. Build an Amon-Ra AJ Brown team, Brown and Brown, but it's actually a pretty sick combo. So if I could pull that off and then get Chase Brown in the third, Brown and Brown. Jacoby would be nice here. A little fall on him. I get the Raiders team stack. Jacoby Myers is a true wide receiver 1 on his team. Son of a bitch, he goes. Let's grab Diggs and then pray that Mooney comes back around is kind of how I want to play that. I don't think I need Caleb Johnson on this build. Obviously, I'm not trying to get another running back right now. Don't need the QB, so let's look at just the tight end and the wide receiver. It's going to be 100% Diggs. Don't need Hawkinson for anything either. Although I love the Minnesota home game against the Lions. I want to get a lot of pieces in that. I built out this team earlier today. It was actually a Schnauzer, just getting a little warm-up in, 20-second Schnauzer. And I built it out around Gibbs. And ended up not really doing a big line stack, but I took Gibbs with Mason and a late Ty Felton. So the first time I drafted Ty Felton, it was just a Schnauzer, but just to get it in. 100%. Hey, Steph, how you doing tonight? Appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a great week. Reflect the Sun. How we doing, my man? Jennings could be a spot. Yeah, that was earlier. I'm so far behind, but that was a round earlier, right? You're thinking Jennings could be a good pick on this one. Who did I take instead? I went with Alvin Kamara. Here's the thing. Was he even there? Was Jennings even there? Jennings kind of fell a while, anyways, at 78. But go back to any fantasy season before this one. When would you ever draft Juwan Jennings ahead of Alvin Kamara? You would never do it. You couldn't go back in time and convince yourself. You couldn't pay me $1 million to draft Juwan Jennings ahead of Alvin Kamara in any fantasy season for the last 4 years, 5 years even. So why do it this year? I have no idea. So I'm just taking the best players available. We're going to make it work. Mooney goes. I would have really liked Mooney on this team, just because the Falcons playing the Rams could be a good game, good shootout type of game. But Mooney, I think, is one of the best picks in the 8th round. So sad to see him get selected. Justin Fields goes super early too. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to stick with my 4. I'm not going to draft another running back unless I get like insane value. What up, Nick Bach? How we doing? What are you drafting tonight? On the clock, Egbuka or Burden, and then Higgins or Harris. So Tampa Bay Bucks are playing the Dolphins, and then Chicago Bears play the 49ers. I don't really have any. I'm gonna go Burden here. I don't really have either. Neither one of those is like really pulling me a certain way. I'll take a Burden because I've got more Egbuka, even it out a little bit. The Diggs is nice too. Sometimes May falls, and I could grab May on this team because I'm pretty sure with Lamar in the Week 7 bye, it's just Josh Allen and the Bills that I have to worry about for QBs. So I'm definitely going to build out 2 QBs, 4 running backs. I could take 3 tight ends and then up to 9 wide receivers, and I'll probably do that. So it'll be a 2, 4, 9, 3 build. I think so. If you guys weren't here earlier when I was talking about my schedule coming up, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow doing Fast Draft Fridays on the Fast Draft app. So be tuned in for that. And then immediately afterwards, I'm going to jump on with Nick Bach and we're going to draft some. I think we're going to draft some eliminators with Sus Edwards as well. So be on the lookout for that one. Yeah, I know, but we're about to show them how we can build a sick team from anywhere on the board, taking the best players available. You know, I think there's some bad wide receiver picks that go really early. And I think Kamara is just an incredible pick for fantasy. Any year, any year, Kamara's been good. I got AJ Brown and Diggs, both true wide receiver ones on their teams. Luther Burden, tons of upside. So I like buying in on the Bears as cheap as I can. So it's guys like Burden and Loveland. I got bags of Loveland. I'll tell you that. This would be a great Keon Coleman team. Also to for the Eagles bring back. I got the AJ Brown working. And then like I said, I got to figure out how to get some Packers. I didn't take Golden. I didn't think he'd come back around, but he definitely didn't even get that close. And Jaden Reed went before him. So maybe some late Packers. Could be Tucker Kraft easily. I would love to get Tucker Kraft on this one. And then I don't know. I'm not high on Dobbs, so I probably wouldn't even take him. Maybe go super late and grab a Wicks or Savion would be nice. Could be fun. What up, Tyler? How you doing, man? Fun, Typhoid Tower, as always. I was listening in as I was putting my kiddos down, getting ready for the stream. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, going very robust tonight. Going strong. Feeling it. Got the tea flowing. We're on supplemental testosterone in this one. And yeah, also I announced it earlier on the intro, but we're gonna have Emo Cowboy. Oh shit, Keon goes, son of a bitch. We're gonna have Tyler on next Wednesday at this time. So stay tuned. Okay, Kelsey's there. I don't want to take him, but I could. Wide receiver, I can go Pittman here. Let me grab Pittman. And then Andrews will be there. only game winner doesn't have a tight end. I'm going to leave him Kelsey. It's too appetizing. He's going to snack on Kelsey, leave me with Andrews. So I'm willing to put Loveland ahead of Kelsey in my ranks, but the ADPs just haven't really converged enough yet. So I've kept Colston back, but I like Loveland better than Kelsey this coming season. And I think I've got more Kelsey because I've been drafting a few Mahomes teams and I get the stat going. So almost certainly going to take Andrews here. If not, Bateman is the clear choice. I can try to push Bateman. Sometimes he comes back around too. I don't mind Shaheed. I mean, who's throwing him the ball? No idea. Maybe it's Shuck. But I've got Kamara, so maybe to make a smaller secondary bet on the Saints. Yeah, Hollywood Brown. How many Browns can I get? James, I'm never drafting Estime. You will not find Estime on this channel. That's almost a punishable offense here. No, I'm kidding. But I don't think so. I don't think Estime. Harvey's too good. Plus, I got Harvey on this one. I think I'm weighing on Harvey. What I saw from Estime last season, I'm out. And then Javonte, if he couldn't do it behind the best run blocking offensive line in the entire league, what makes you think Javonte's going to do it for the Cowboys? It would just be them being kind of forceful and giving him the touches, which I think is crazy, but could happen. What up, Green Bean? How you doing, my man? Is that a new profile pic? Got a school bus in there? What is that? Into Diggs, not sure why. Some sharp folks are outside. Aside from age, injury. I'm in on Diggs. He was good. He was good enough on the Texans last year. If you can get that going again with Drake May, why not? Yeah, he does play for the Patriots. The stud himself, Bindles. What's up, my man? Bindles had a great stream with Ron last night. Check it out if you haven't. Go to Bindles' channel. It's in the description. Monday nights, starting this coming Monday, Ballsy. Bindles and I going to get ballsy, draft some best ball mania teams, smoke our stogies inside. It's going to be a great time. Be there. I don't think there's any other combos I want. And then I'm actually really tempted to go Bateman on this build. Maybe it'd be smarter to take Bateman here, skip Andrews, and then get late tight ends. Honestly, that could be the play. No, I'm just gonna go Andrews. It's tough. It's tough to click Bateman over Andrews. I've done it before. Last time I did it, I had a Lamar team on the big board. I took Bateman over Andrews right about this range because I already had, I want to say, Kittle, and I just felt like it made more sense. That, man, he had a career year last year. He's a little bit touchdown dependent, but so is Mark Andrews. Maybe Andrews, one more year removed from the injury, could be a guy we need. Other picks that went in this range that kind of surprised me. Dak goes early to the team with Justin Fields going early. Completely unstacked Dak. Interesting move. Looks like the 12 spot, and this is the best ball mania. It's a 30-second best ball mania. It looks like the 12 spot's just drafting familiar names. Kirk, Prescott, Fields, Kupp, Pollard, James Conner, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane. That's redraft as hell. But good on him for helping the room out. We got Mr. Chaz Michaels in the 11th spot. He's pissing down this board. I mean, just in my mind, I know that he is a good drafter in his own right, but with this start of a 3, I don't know why you'd go Worthy and Waddle there, and then pull an anchor with Chuba and Zach Charbonnet. I think that's just not enough. But we'll see if he can pull it off. He also took Mooney from me, so I'm pissed at him for that. So I'm going to keep hating on his team. And then Shaheed, I would have considered Shaheed over Michael Pittman, but I think Pittman could also just be the wide receiver 1 on his team. Obviously, he's competing against Downs. And then Bateman doesn't fall. So not getting all of the luck. Wow. The 1 spot, taking Javonte at 120 and Jaden Blue at 121. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Maybe you lock down the Cowboys backfield, and at this price, 10th and 11th round pick, not worth it. Too expensive for that kind of move, in my opinion. That'd be like, yeah, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's kind of like taking Chase Brown and Zach Moss together last year. I think they were similarly priced, maybe a little bit more expensive. So May's there. I also can do. I might take May at this one, or I could try to push May. Hollywood is there. Hollywood seems nice on this build. I'm gonna take Hollywood, and then hope he can do anything this year. Gives me some more ammo in that Denver game. I'll just cross my fingers, hope that I get Drake May to come back. If not, it's not the end of the world, but it would be kind of nice to get May with Diggs. Otherwise, I'm looking at potentially going with someone else late. Maybe doing a backstack with another QB. Yeah, Drake May goes. I'm cool with it, though. I'm rolling with Lamar. I don't need a lot of draft capital at QB to make this one work. In the 11th round, it's still just a little bit expensive if I really think Lamar is going to be the guy I need for most weeks. How many times would Drake May hit my lineup? Not a whole lot. You know, James, I've been thinking about this. I was thinking about this just before I started streaming. I was like, what if Jackson Dart is the next Josh Allen? Do I need to go trade for Dart in my dynasty leagues? I didn't get him. I didn't take him in any rookie drafts. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe, who knows though? They came out today and said ideally he wouldn't start any games for the Giants this year, which I think is preposterous. That's just a little bit of coach speak. They do have that late bye though. The Giants have their bye in week 14. I would have to think he starts before that, but if he doesn't, he's a terrible pick in fantasy, in best ball right now. Yeah, never estimate, but Hollywood, why not? Let's take a look. So Tucker Kraft is there. I'm going to go Kraft almost certainly. Gives me a nice bring back. It's the last good piece on the Packers offense remaining. And then we just take a peek at these wideouts. There's no one there worth getting. So I'm going to figure out my second QB as the draft goes on. I've got some names in mind. Could be easily be Bryce Young. You could do some late stuff with Stafford. Higbee goes undrafted. You could get Tutu pretty late. I'll avoid Tua. Geno Smith because I have Genty, although I didn't get Myers. Would have been nice. Could do AR late. With the Ravens having the week 7 bye, could get lucky and just Anthony Richardson holds down the job for that long, or maybe he doesn't start any games and Daniel Jones is the starter out the gate. So I don't know if I want to. It's a pretty risky bet to go with that. Might go Geno over them. The problem with Geno is I don't have another out for I don't have Bowers or Myers, who you would really want on a Geno team. I'll just take a late value at QB, maybe Shook or something like that, and then pretty much treat it like I'm using Lamar every single week, which I think I will be, considering where I took him. And now I've got the Tucker Kraft bring back. I've already got him stacked with Andrews. Probably done with that game. The other game I want to continue to build out around is the Bills and the Eagles, since I took AJ Brown so early. So maybe I can figure out how to get another Bills player on here. It could be Josh Palmer with my next pick. And then Kincaid just goes 2. So that was an option, but not anymore. Yeah, McLaughlin last year just couldn't do it. They got Harvey. He's dust. I've seen Mike Clay project some touches for McLaughlin at least, so maybe he still has a role in this offense, but to be determined. I would rather just bet all in on Harvey. Same pick. Oh, okay. You know what it is? I didn't always have the profile pics pop up when I hit comments, and so I probably just never noticed. And when I saw it in the chat, it's so much smaller that I couldn't tell. That's funny. The original Twister movie, shout out. I don't know if you guys were here earlier in the week, probably Monday night. I was talking about how my grandfather worked in the movie business. Um, and so he's like a big movie buff, and he used to let me watch movies with him late at night. So I 6, 7 years old, I'm watching Terminator 2, Judgment Day, mind blown, having literal nightmares. But another movie we watched together was Twister, the original Twister. Really, really cool movie. Also gave me nightmares. So we also watched Jaws together, but he was a movie buff. He knew all of the good ones. And so, yeah, I love Twister. Nostalgia for sure. Hartman, how we doing tonight? My man. Took my first estimate share today on an Elim. Couldn't be me, but I get it. The Broncos are going to be a good offense, good run team. So I get it. There's so many running backs that got drafted last year that just did nothing. Trey Benson, Estime, Ray Davis hardly did anything. Bunch of guys. Lloyd was hurt. Josh Palmer goes. That was depressing. I could take Noel, but I want to take less of him. I've gotten a lot of them so far. I'll probably take QJ ahead of him. And then let me just take a look. I could get Bryce here. I'm going to go Bryce. And then I'll mess with Thielen or Leggett on the way back, potentially. Solves the QB issue. Now I'm done at QB. Probably could have looked ahead a little bit. But I thought with Michael Michelson, a.k.a. Certified Ball Knower, not having a QB up to this point, maybe he's going a zero QB build, which I've never seen that work, but pretty much every stacking partner he's got is gone except for Tua, unless did Tua already go? No, Tua's there. Tua's always there. He could also take Shuck late. He could do something with, I guess, Penix went, which is what he was probably aiming for. Thielen goes, son of a bitch. I should have known a game winner would take Thielen, another redraft ass player, but I'll get Leggett. Feel okay about it. If not, I'll get Coker. Make it work. Yeah, I'm so done at running back. It's not even funny. I said I didn't want Dubs, but cool. Leggett's there. It ends up working out. I'm not crazy about Leggett. Not crazy about him, but it makes sense on this build for sure. And then just take another swing at a second-year player, although I don't think he's very good. And then I'll give you a counter argument, though, of why Leggett could be better this season. You never want to see foot surgery with a wide receiver, especially. But I heard the argument for Leggett this year was they drafted T-Mac. It's going to allow Leggett to play on the other side of the field, potentially thrive in a different role. I don't know. I guess Thielen goes in the slot. Then let me look that up. Let me go to our lads, Panthers. What's the projected depth chart right now showing? It's definitely going to be T-Mac, lined up. And then Leggett, in the slot, Thielen. And then Coker plays behind Leggett, which you'd think because of the draft capital, they give Leggett one more try. Maybe Coker does take over the role, but who knows? Yes. Yeah. A lot of great movies. RoboCop. That was awesome as a kid. Grown up, not so much. Yeah, that's kind of a I think I was aware of RoboCop. I definitely didn't see RoboCop when I was really young, and I'm glad. Like, the first scene, the guy gets his whole body blown off with shotguns. I think I watched that later. I was just, like, aware of RoboCop, and there was also some weird RoboCop cartoon at some point. I have no idea what channel that was on, but that's a little bit before my time. Hartman calling him out. What up, Scorpio? Let's see, chat. What do y'all think? Let's help Scorpio out. He's asking, should I trade Neighbors for Saquon full PPR? And is a dynasty league? I wouldn't. I would keep Neighbors. I think Neighbors is untradeable. Little chat, let me know what you think. I think if I looked at like Bindle's dynasty ranks, pretty sure he's got Neighbors as worth like 2.5 first or 3 first. I'd have to look it up. I don't have Discord open right now. But yeah, I think Neighbors is, and I have to look. I haven't looked at a dynasty startup board in a few weeks, and I kind of have fuzzy memory, but I'm pretty sure Neighbors can go like in the first round of those, so almost untradeable. There's four picks left in this Best Ball Mania draft. Got a 2-4-6-2. I'm feeling better about my wideouts with a little bit more depth now. I have like no bye week conflicts. The running backs are set. The tight ends look good. I'd be done with 2 tight ends if I didn't. I mean, if I need to get a 5th running back, I can. I don't need to. Sanders would go late. I could grab Gesicki here. It's kind of fun. Pierce would be nice on this team, although I already have. I'm going to grab Pat Bryant because 2 reasons, really. And maybe I'll grab Coker on the way back. Well, I don't know. Is Coker redundant? Coker's a little bit redundant with Leggett, so I'm not going to go Coker and overstack. I think what I'd rather have is like Gesicki. I like Dobbins, but maybe it's not the right team for him. Pierce goes. I made the bet on Pittman. I think Pierce is still fine, but I would want to mix it up a little bit. Pat Bryant, make another bet on the Broncos. And again, I've got Hollywood Brown here. I think Pat Bryant can be good. Who Hames is a big fan. He keeps dropping the stat about how good of a run blocker Pat Bryant is. That'll get him worked into the starting lineup sooner than later. He's got to beat. So in the slot, they have Vele. I don't know if Pat Bryant played in the slot in college. I'm not really aware. But I think as far as I know, he played outside. Cortland Sutton's definitely going to start outside. And then you have Marvin Mims on the other side. I think Pat Bryant could take over Mims' job. Mims relegated to a special teamer, just isn't actually that good. That would be interesting if he can play in the slot. Maybe he goes to the slot and takes Vele's job as well, which would be really easy to do, I think. What do y'all think? Do y'all know anything else about Pat Bryant and his slot usage in college? I'm sure I could look it up. I probably should know at this point how much I draft him. Definitely. So this is just my exposures for Best Ball Mania that I'm showing, which is crazy. I've already got 3 teams with Steph Diggs out of. I think it's showing all my teams. The exposures look a little bit low to me, so I don't know if it's loaded all of my teams or what's going on. But so yeah, what would that'd be times 13. This seems right. I'm just missing the 1 or 2 teams that I've recently done. So this is like updated through maybe 13 of my Best Ball Manias, and I've done 15, and this is I think the 16th. So it's pretty close. Yeah, if Scorpio, let us. So if it's redraft, you have a redraft league that's already drafted. That's interesting. Or is it a keeper league? It's like a keeper league. That would make sense. I still think I'd want. I don't know. If it's a keeper league and it's just like next season and you can't keep him long term, maybe Saquon. But so Gerardo, Pat Bryant is moving up because he is on the Broncos. There's a very ambiguous wide receiver group. He went with the 10th pick in the third round. He's got a very intriguing profile. He's a big guy. He's a big receiver. Can play on the outside. Coker's still there. I don't want Hopkins either. I think this is the tight end. Gesicki was gone. Too much Mason Taylor. I'm going to cue Mason Taylor, but I don't want to take him. If anything, I'm going to go wide receiver. And then this could be a Keenan Allen-ass team. Or Slayton. Just go Slayton here. I'll take Mason Taylor, whatever. Past ADP. I've got a ton of Mason Taylor, but I'll get one more. I think any of these wideouts could still be there with my next pick. And I pretty much knew I was going to go 3 tight ends. I think I like the upside of Taylor more than the rest of these guys, except I've got a ton of Schultz too. And then I want more Juwan Johnson. He's actually not a bad bet. Taysom Hill, who knows how long he's hurt for. But the Saints, I don't want to be overexposed to the Saints either. So the other thing I need to look up that I almost forgot about was the Panthers play the Seahawks, which means I would want to go MVS for sure instead of these guys. So I'm glad I didn't just grab a random wide receiver. I almost forgot that I had the Panthers. MVS makes a ton of sense playing with Kubiak, their new offensive coordinator, who we played with in New Orleans. You know, then put up a ton of numbers. Geez, 19 receptions, worse than I remembered. But maybe he plays the DK role. Maybe he has a couple spike weeks. That's all I can ask for with my... He's probably going to be my 9th receiver. 2, 4, 9, 3. So I can get 2 more receivers. If Coker's still there, maybe it makes sense to grab him. Justice Hill is a good-ass pick, too. I would take Hill over literally all of these guys. Hill's got projectable volume, huge contingent upside. If Henry misses 1 or 2 games with a sore ankle or something like that, and it's at the end of the season, maybe they're resting him for the playoffs, Hill comes in, gets some work. He can run the ball. He can catch the passes. He gets the touchdowns in the way they're running the offense right now. So I thought I was going to go 4 running backs. If Hill is there, I would definitely take him on this build and then end it with MVS, Keenan Allen, or Coker. Was there anyone else? I never got a Bill, but that's okay. I've got a Packer, right? I ended up getting Kraft, so I feel good about my bringbacks if I can get someone on Seattle. And if it's not MVS, maybe I go Horton for some more upside. Maybe Horton is just better, right? I think I like that. Let me see what y'all are saying about it. I bet y'all have been saying Horton over MVS. Steve put me on to MVS, so blame him. He was talking up MVS. I think we drafted him last Thursday on that stream. And I left up the comment about Pat Bryant for a long time, but he could just be good. He could just earn the starting role this season and be pretty good. I'm going to go Justice Hill. I think Horton will still be there. So not a true hyper fragile, but I think Hill's worth it in this one. Pretty close. That I did it just for you. That could be true too. See, who aims is the Bryant ball knower. I'm in. No way, Thad. Mims is not good. You know he's not good. He's a special teamer. Okay, I like this, Hartman. Thank you for the research. I think 21% is enough. He could just be good at ball, and they work him onto the field, and they say, hey, you used to play a little bit of slot. Get in here. Vele, not our guy. Vele sucks. Bryant isn't over Mims. I think he could be. I think Bryant could take Mims' job. I don't think Mims is that good. Yeah, I'll double down. No, he's not ahead of Mims. He can take his job though. MVS. Yeah, MVS or Horton, either one. I don't think I need Coker. I can just see it. Marvin Mims been on the team for, I mean, what was that, 2 years? Because it was 2023 when I was hyping him up. I was a big Marvin Mims bull. He was my most drafted rookie wide receiver for best ball in 2023. I'm completely off of him by now. It's recency bias. He's a guy you'd like to have in week 17 last year. 1 week. I can show you all the data on Marvin Mims and why he's terrible after this. But they drafted Pat Bryant to potentially replace Cortland Sutton next year if he's a free agent. But unlikely that he's that good that he can replace Cortland Sutton. So they're going to probably try to re-sign Cortland Sutton. And then if not, who are they going to bring in free agency wise? But yeah, Vele, not good. Mims, not very good. Pat Bryant could be good, could come in, earn a role right away. Apparently, he plays some slot too, so he could take Bailey's job, he could take Mims' job. So the Broncos run 11 personnel 55% of the time. Where do you think Mims is going to play? Bryant can definitely take his job. I'm either Horton or MVS. Yeah, Mims is Timu Mac Hollins. I would agree. Probably MVS has the more immediate role. Let me just see on this team, wide receiver wise. I've already got some rookie upside. Maybe I just go with the veteran and hope that he has one more good season with Sam Darnold, does something big. I like Horton a lot. I think on this team, though, I just need more. I need a little bit more floor at wide receiver, which is funny to say because like MVS, but it could work. We'll have to find out. Always need Coker? Nah, I don't know. It's tough. He's not going to play over Thielen. He's not going to play over T-Mac. So he only plays over Leggett, and I drafted Leggett. So I have to hope that doesn't happen. So I think Coker's a bet against Leggett. But Mims is better in best ball, for sure. But he's just not that good. He's fast. He's still young. Sure. 2023, they drafted Mims with the last pick in the second round. This year, they took Pat Bryant with the 10th pick in the third round. It's not that different from a draft capital perspective. Mims had, so you think of Mims as a downfield threat. He had 384 air yards last season and 503 receiving yards. He had less air yards than receiving yards. He's not catching the ball down the field. He had the 6 touchdowns. That's kind of an anomaly on 39 receptions. So he got some touchdown luck because the Broncos were scoring well. Mims, small sample size. He is somewhat of a big play, I guess, can break off a big play, which you'd like for best ball. But in 17 games, 39 receptions, 9 big plays, less than 1 per game. He's not that good. Where he's currently priced, he's overpriced 100%. And then his game logs, I'm looking at it here. Week 1, 0 points. Week 2, 2 points. Week 3, 2 points. Week 4, 0 points. Week 5, 3 points. Week 6, 0 points. Week 7, 3 points. Week 8, 1 point. Week 9, 1 point. Week 10, 7 points. So his best performance in 10 weeks was a 7-point game in week 10. Marvin Mims is terrible. If you draft Marvin Mims in the Eliminator, you are a fish. Marvin Mims had one good game last season, excluding week 18, which was also decent. But he finished wide receiver 3 overall with 100 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Bengals in week 17. So he just happened to be a guy you needed in week 17 last year. He was terrible the entire season. He has a negative value over replacement. So if you draft any other wide receiver just blindly, you get a better value than Mims at ADP. That's pretty much what that says. So that's the case for against Marvin Mims. There's recency bias in our heads because he was good in week 17, but the odds that he hits in week 17 again is so small. I'd rather bet on any other random player. He stretches the field, yet he had negative air yards compared to his total yards. So I don't know how that 100% makes sense, but I feel like it should make sense that he also gets open down the field. Let me look into it. Mims. It's his I can look at his something about deep targets. Mims was 82nd among wide receivers in yards per team pass attempt. So that's pretty bad. He had a good yards per route run, so he got that going for him, I guess. And then he's all yards after catch. Mims got all of his yards after catch, literally all of them. He had 25 yards in the air, and he had 475 yards after catch. So he is that would make me think he's just a screen game guy. He's just catching literal screens and then trying to get downfield after that. He had 12 deep targets, ranking 56th among receivers. He had 5 red zone targets, ranking 95th among receivers. Okay, that's enough on Mims, though. So I'm not really drafting a lot of Mims. Yeah. A 7.4 average depth of target when the average distance on a reception, or actually the average reception for, not distance, but the average reception for the Broncos last year was, I'll find it real quick, 10 yards per reception. They ranked 25th in the league. So average depth of target, I guess he's all yak though, so he can still get some yak after that. So yeah, maybe Mims didn't get enough snaps, or maybe he's not good. Small sample though on his yards per route run. Yeah, I was looking at average reception. I've got average reception data, so it wouldn't be depth of target. I don't have that yet into my sheets, but I could add it, I guess. It's just got to find clean sources and then pull it in, crosswalk it, all that good stuff. Let's review this team real quick. We'll stop hating on Marvin Mims. But that's why that whole tirade is because I like Pat Bryant, because I think there's a chance he can get a lot of opportunity. Let's see. Okay, nice. Review this team. 2-5-8-3 build. Thought about going 2-4-9-3. Didn't need the 9th wide receiver really, and then it's because Justice Hill is a great fit. I've got Lamar Jackson and Bryce Young. Skinny stack for Bryce Young. We have a bring back in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, of all people, almost a Corton. That's thin though. I don't really need much there. I would expect Bryce Young to hit my lineup when Lamar Jackson has his bye, and then maybe never again. So I didn't want to overspend at QB. Just get Lamar, make it work. Genty, Chase Brown, RJ Harvey, Alvin Kamara. Could have stopped with 4. Got Justice Hill, cherry on top. Not a single running back has overlapping buys. I think that's really strong. And if you're going to take 4 or 5 running backs, it helps if you don't have 3 on the same bye week on week 8. Helps a lot. Just for getting consistent points, trying to get out of your pod. AJ Brown, Steph Diggs, Burden, Pittman. So potentially I've got 3 alpha wide receiver ones on their team. Burden, big upside pick. Hollywood Brown, bounce back pick. Leggett for the stack. Maybe he's good in year 2, or at least better, or good enough. I mean, with Leggett, pretty much my first 4 wide receivers, I need Burden to hit for this to be cooking. But if he doesn't, Hollywood could bounce back. Leggett could have a decent year. And this is the dart throw range. Pat Bryant gets a roll or does something where he's good for 1 game and I hits the lineup 1 time. Would be nice. If Scantling ever hits the lineup, then he's worth it. Andrews, Kraft, and Taylor's pretty strong. I didn't have to take Taylor there, but I like him. I like him too. I think he'll get some play. And Kraft gives me the bring back against the Ravens. So overall, not bad. For going so RB heavy, I like this one. Should be a pretty strong team for the season-long component. Just got to hope we're cooking a little bit in the playoffs with A.J. Brown. If A.J. Brown scorches the earth during weeks 15, 16, 17, then we could be in a good shape here. And he very well could. I don't know what the last word you said before continues is. I say something in the trend continues. 13, 19, 30, 22. Sure. He did have a good game in week 17. You're just cherry picking his best 8 games of the season. His wide receiver 31, wide receiver 52, wide receiver 12, wide receiver 59, wide receiver 51, week 17, wide receiver 3, week 18, which doesn't count, he's wide receiver 6, and in the playoffs, he was also terrible. Had 12 yards on 2 catches against the Bills. So, yeah, I'm out on Mims. He's way too expensive. He's below replacement level. The data shows if you take any draftable wide receiver at ADP, you get a better value than Mims. I say the trend continues. Oh, I love that. Okay. I say the trend continues. I will buy into that. If your bet is that the trend continues, then I can see why you would get excited about that. My bet is that his larger sample size of not only 2024, but also 2023, where again, he had more games with 0 or negative fantasy points than he did with games with more than 10 fantasy points. In 2023, Marvin Mims had -6, -0.6, -1.1, and -0.3. He had 3 games with negative fantasy points. He had 2 games with more than 10 fantasy points, with both of those coming on broken plays, it looks like. So that's a little bit more food for thought. I never thought I would hate Marvin Mims so much, but nothing personal. I just don't think he's good. I said I had 20% Marvin Mims in Best Ball Mania 4 and didn't do anything for me. It killed my advance. Killed a lot of my advancement on a lot of my teams. I know. Thad does no ball. That's why I'm listening. Appreciate you, Fantasy Dog. For the 27th, like, yeah. We're in on the Broncos. The Broncos are going to be good again. Their offensive line is the best run blocking line in the league. They have a great line. Their defense is going to be super good, which means they might even be running it more. They got Jahdae Barron in the first round. Shout out to my Horns. He's probably the best cornerback in the entire draft. And a little bit of a scary matchup for the Chiefs. Even though it's a home game, the Broncos could be here to play. And yeah, it could be a tough matchup for the Chiefs in week 17. So I'm in on Harvey. Even at his expensive cost, he could just be a top 10 running back, top 12 running back immediately. If they give him all the work, he easily could do that. And then who else? Sutton we're in on. He's still good. Sutton had 1,780 air yards last season. So he is the one who's producing for the wide receivers there. And then Pat Bryant's cheap. So it's just a late swing, practically a free pick. So that's why we're getting so much Harvey. We're so worked up. We're so worked up about the Broncos, but I love it. I did a ton. I told you, if y'all didn't see the Tuesday show, I did a 4-minute monologue intro on Cortland Sutton and the Broncos offense. So I'm deep into the Broncos research this week. So that's why I'm standing so strongly against Mims. One of the reasons. This could also be true. Huhames could also be right. Maybe he plays more snaps. Maybe he takes a leap in year 3. Could be true. Earl Thomas. Maybe you've heard of him. Yeah. There's it was DBU for a while. Texas was DBU for a while. Kenny Vaccaro, Earl Thomas, to name a few. Who else? Been a few years, but yep. Yeah. Cortland Sutton was incredible last season. Paid off huge and could continue to and actually hit more touchdowns going forward. So we'll see. What up, Mr. Magic? How you doing tonight, sir? Hope you're having a great Thursday. Oh, I forgot to ask you all at the beginning of the stream. So I was telling you all about the schedule for next week. It's exciting. So get ready. Tomorrow night, I'll mention it again right now. Tomorrow night's Fast Draft Friday. I'm going to come live. I'm going to draft on the Fast Draft app. If you're around here last month, PPR Tyler and I were drafting some Fast Draft teams. I'm a big fan. I like the Origins contest. It's a rookie only best ball season long scoring PPR. 60 picks, 10 teams, 6 rounds. It's really quick, really fun. Those drafts take about 8 to 10 minutes to do. If you're new to Fast Draft and you want to get in on it tomorrow with us, you can use code GARAGE when you sign up. You'll get $50 in free credits, matching bonus kind of thing. But I like it. I'm excited to use it. I've done a bunch of those drafts. It's been a little while though, because ever since the NFL draft, we've been more on the underdog train right now. But tomorrow I'm going to get in on it. It's going to be a lot of other a lot of the different types of best ball drafts. Is what I'm saying. It's fun. So that'll be good. I think, who was it last time? I think it was Trivoli was drafting with PPR Tyler and I last time, and he was drafting with us. And so there's a Fast Draft Friday promotion where the drafts, like, the only holdup has been sometimes it can be hard late at night to fill the drafts in particular times. So tomorrow it's going to be a perfect timing because the rooms are going to be filling super fast because everyone's going to be on it for the promotion. So that is going to go on in the channel. probably 8 or 8:30 to like I think or yeah, like 8:30 to like 10, and then 10 Central, I'm going over to Nick Box channel to do an eliminator with him and Sus Edwards. So be on the lookout for that too tomorrow night. And then Monday, first episode of also we're about to draft another team. So everyone stick around. I'm just giving you an update for the schedule. Um Monday we're as the first episode of Ballsy with Bindles. It's our new show. We're going to talk about Dynasty rookie drafts, draft the Best Ball Mania team together. It's going to be awesome. Be there. Tuesday, it's shout out to Al Boogie for coming up with the name. It's Tool Time Tuesdays with Chris. That's me. We're going to be talking data, spreadsheets, data visualizations. So I'm bringing on Billy Jones on Tuesday to go over some data with y'all. It'll be fun. Wednesday, Emo Cowboys coming on. We'll get rowdy. We'll draft a BBM, maybe an Elam. Who knows? Thursday, after Fanspeak has their sibling showdown show, Meg is going to come on this show here afterwards. We'll draft a BBM with Meg, see what she's up to, see what's going on with the Fanspeak network with their new Best Ball subscription. Check it out. I'm a subscriber. I'm loving the content. They're putting out articles. They've got rankings, subscriber-only shows, a lot of good stuff. Check it out. And what else? I think Friday, I'll keep it a mystery for now, but we got something else cooking up for Friday. More to come. Be drafting all this weekend too. Like I said, we're going to be streaming tomorrow and then guesting on Nick Box channel. And then this weekend is still a mystery. So we'll see what ends up happening Saturday, Sunday, but we'll keep it coming. We're going to be drafting a ton. Make sure you're subscribed. Throw me a like. And then, yeah, plenty more to come. Let's get into another draft. If we can fill one, let's do an eliminator. I've been dying to do an eliminator. And let's see. Probably 30 seconds would make the most sense. I'm going to check this 30-second and see how full it is. And then y'all can see 2. Waiting on 11. There's no chance. That's so sad. Let's try a 20-second elim. 20-second elim. I'm going to jump in there and just see if it's within 5 or 6. 4 people. Let's do this. Hell yeah. I want to film more elims because the schedule's out. We have to wait for anything. And I bookmarked it somewhere. I need to go on my Twitter real quick. I meant to pull in this information. I bookmarked it. Somebody put out the strength of schedule grid. I'm going to find it. Pull it up. It'll give us information on which teams have the best early schedules. But we're drafting a 20-second eliminator. It's going to be fast and furious. Get in here if you want to draft with us on this one. I'm going to find it. Where did it go? All right, we filled. We're waiting to start. I can't find it. I can't find the strength of schedule. Maybe I actually saw it on Discord or something. Or did I bookmark it? Hell yeah. Got the 1 spot. See Lalsimo in the 2. Got Hartman in the 5. Huhames in the 6. Dealman in the 7. How you doing? 1 real time in the 8. This is looking nice. You guys are ready. How do we all get in here? On real time. Wait, has it always been on real time? I thought it was 1 real time. That makes a lot more sense. I just never read that right. Is that true? On real time? No way. Going back to the chat. Holy. Literally read Thad's name as 1 real time this entire time. It's on real time. That makes way more sense. It's those things. It's like you just see names and you read it as the entire name instead of dissecting it piece by piece. This is an eliminator. This Saquon Barkley pick. I don't have Elam ranks up yet. I probably will do them at some point if I'm really serious about maxing this. Gotta be Saquon Barkley. I wish I could find the schedule grid. Someone's probably got it on Twitter. If you're on Twitter and you can easily find the schedule grid right now, tag me in it because I'm looking for it and I can't seem to find it. I guess I bookmarked it or something. I thought I liked it. I thought it would just show up. I don't even know where my bookmarks are. Oh, there it is. Bookmarks. No, but I don't see it in here. Wow, apparently I haven't bookmarked much since last best ball summer because it's all the data from last year. Huham sent the link. Yes. Shout out to Huhames. Appreciate ya. Nice. Yeah, this is similar. I saw one. Probably it was on Discord. Oh, it was on Discord. Shit, I'll pull up Discord real quick. It was on, I think it was on Davis Maddock Discord. I saw one that was like, it was like a heat map. It was green for the easy schedules, red for the hard schedules. And it was really easy to read. Let me see if I can find that. Somebody posted it on there. There's so much activity on their NFL page. I like scrolling back to yesterday. It could take me like an hour. Jeez. I'll find it though. I'll find it. I'm psyched on it because I think it'd be great for Eliminator content. That had to be where I saw it. Somewhere in here. I'm still looking. I'm scrolling so far back. Apparently, there's been a lot of talk today in the Discords. I'm more of a Discord lurker, not so active on Discord. Just one more thing to keep track of. We're getting close. Wait a second. Y'all let me draft the Genty team on the last draft, and I didn't even play the Genty clip. We'll have to play the Genty clip at some point when we have a minute. When there's like a little lull. If you haven't seen the Genty clip before, if you're new, make sure you're subscribed and remind me in about 5 minutes or more to roll the Genty clip. What's going on? Maybe I saw it yesterday in the Discord, and there's been so much conversation since then, it's not showing up anymore. I think I found it. I had saved it on my phone is what I thought I had bookmarked it. I'd saved it on my phone. But I found it here. I'm going to copy this image. I'm going to put it into my Google Sheets, Google Slides. And then that's so small. That's too hard to see. Okay. It's essentially the strength of schedule. It's the Las Vegas. It's a heat map of the Vegas lines. So like the Cardinals are minus 3.5 in week 1, minus 4.5 in week 2, and then they're a 3.5 point dog in week 3. So like the Browns are dogs in every single game this season except week 14. So it's somewhat correlated with strength of schedule, but if we look at the Eagles, I'm sure it's going to show, yeah, they're favored in every single game this season except for 2. But I don't know. I don't know if that helps as much. Huhames is actually, yours was very helpful too, the schedules, but then you just got to know what's going on. I think I'll go Tyreek Hill. Why not? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I'll go Josh Allen. By week 7, by week 9, by week 12. Just kind of betting on Tyreek coming back, being a good pick, being a good value there. Derrick Henry goes pretty early. Not too early, though. Not that much different. Pretty much JT is the obvious difference. JT goes much earlier. Jacobs goes consistently earlier. Hames grabs Lamar. Nice. I almost took Lamar over Josh Allen. It's a toss-up. I guess technically, yeah, the same bye week too, so. So pulling up the chart that Haim shared with me, it's just the schedule, NFL schedule grid. It's the one y'all are familiar with. I always remember this one every year because it has the London games with the flag, like the English flag, the red, white, and blue. It like really stands out. And then the color scheme is just very noticeable. They have the Sunday night games in blue, which kind of stands out too. The Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, start off with Dallas. I think I like that matchup. And then at KC, that's one of the only games. I think they were actually plus 1.5 because it's an away game at KC. And then against the Rams, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Is that a good matchup? A good matchup last year was running against the Vikings, but I think they've gotten a lot better. They added some defensive linemen in the free agency, and they drafted one too. So the Vikings run stop defense should be a little bit better than it was last year. Gave up a ton of yards and touchdowns to Jahmyr Gibbs in the 2 games the Lions played the Vikings. But I think the Vikings defense is getting better. It was good again. It was a good pass rush, and it was good against some teams, but it wasn't good against the Lions. What up, Mike? If you're in here, hope you're having a good night. Catch back up with y'all. Went on a deep dive into schedules and trying to find grids. I don't know. Reflect the Sun. I haven't been drafting any Evan Ingram. I like other tight ends that go after him better, but he could be something. We'll see how they use him. They went out and got him. To me, he's just always been pretty inefficient for fantasy, more of a compiler. You know, he had 140 targets with the Jags, had 111 receptions, didn't have 1,000 yards, had 4 touchdowns. So what's his real ceiling, I guess? Where do I see Rice finishing in PPR? Probably in the top. I have to count it out, but I can look at my ranks and figure that out. Probably in the top 16 wide receivers. PPR, maybe a little bit higher. I think Sutton's a great pick here. And it could be George Kittle. I just don't know definitively if I want an elite tight end or not. Kittle can definitely get me there. I'll take Kittle. I got to do more eliminator research. I'm thinking of it just kind of straight up head to head. Like, I want to build a strong team that can win at every position, win these head to heads. So, like, Josh Allen accomplishes that. Saquon accomplishes that. Tyreek could have it, win you a week easily. Cortland Sutton's going to be very consistent floor, a very high floor with Sutton, and then a good ceiling as well. Kittle good, potentially just a good stealing play, but can have bad weeks too. So it's a pretty expensive pick in an eliminator for a tight end, I think. Maybe could have taken a running back there, but I'm fine with it. I don't know. It'll be nice if Kittle puts up like a 17 or a 20-point week and helps separate versus just having like any 2 or 3 tight ends and then none of them score a touchdown. What do y'all think? Is Kittle worth it in an Elam? Might be too. I might have paid too much for him. He wasn't coming back. That's for sure. And then Kittle bye week is it's week 14, so it's really late, which is good. Not an early bye. Same thing with the Broncos. Week 12 bye is pretty late. That's nice for me. Let me look at my ranks, actually, Mr. Magic. I wanted to check that out. So I've got Rice in half PPR as my wide receiver 13. In full PPR, I'd probably move him to 12 ahead of T. Higgins. Why not? Yeah, top 12. I think that's fair if he's healthy. What do you think? That could have been interesting. Yeah, they went with Genty. Nice. That's a pretty strong number. Twice the field in Sutton. I think it's a good play. Have Emo Cowboy on for Tool Time Tuesdays. He'll be on eventually. It'll be a different kind of Tool Time. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I know. That's hilarious though. Well, I forget who I commented on. I think I commented on someone's video today. They were still talking about the best ball tools and assisted pick, whatever. And I said, instead of being best ball bros, we all need to be called best ball tools now. It's the summer of the best ball tools, in my opinion. Okay, Deebo Samuel, Rome Odunze, 2 of the worst picks in this round. I wish I had just my normal ranks uploaded, but I guess it's different anyways. I don't have my normal ranks uploaded in here that I normally use. So I'm just kind of flying it by, going by what my instincts are for an eliminator. Shakir is better for an eliminator than normally, but he still sucks. Judkins is probably good. Judkins is my first pick. I don't want Aaron Jones. The early buy is not good either. Godwin could miss games. Diggs could start slow. I don't think he will, though. I think Diggs could be a fine pick. I've got a lot of them, but this is an Elam. You gotta bet that he's not going to start slow, not going to be injured. I'll just go Diggs there. Seems a little bit expensive, but I'm at the turn, so I got to make some choices. Tyreek Hill, Cortland Sutton, Stephon Diggs, George Kittle, Quinshawn Judkins, Saquon Barkley. I think Quinshawn's going to get minimum 15 touches a game. I think he could do more than that. I think he could be 17 to 18 touches, but minimum 15 right off the bat. So there's some good upside with him. I think for an eliminator format, the only problem is the Browns' schedule is pretty tough and they suck. So they might just be passing the ball more. So then Jerry Jeudy becomes kind of the value there. Hartman grabs him. But I think even in passing down situations, you want Judkins in for his ability to pick up a blitz and block. If you think about it, he's a grown ass man. He can block pretty well. I think at least. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought he was a good blocker in college. I know they use Travion Henderson too, and he's a good blocker also. I don't know if I have any stats to look up real quick about his. I can figure it out. Let me figure it out real quick. Quinshon Judkins was a pretty good pass blocker, but he was inconsistent, not graded out highly. Evaluators were split. Not a strength of his game. Okay, well then I'm just misremembering because he's so strong and a stud, but he has high pass blocking potential and he possesses physical tools. Who is not frequently used. Okay, well, duh. It's because they used Henderson, so he's a willing pass blocker, but some people call him an outstanding pass blocker. So it's all over the place. He's just inconsistent, and then he wasn't utilized highly because they had Henderson. So that kind of makes sense. I feel like Mahomes would be a pretty decent pick in this, but he seems to be falling. Oh, sorry, Truth. It's a 30-second a 20-second eliminator. We tried to fill the 30-second eliminator and it was plus 11. We got in the 20-second elim and it was plus 4. So we filled it out. I think there's at least like 5 or 6 of us in here. So I don't need a QB, obviously. I think I just keep on building out the wide receivers. Pittman and Shaheed seem good in this format. I mean, I still like Igbuka and Burden. I'll go Shaheed, just hope he's healthy. And then the second pick, do I want Burden? Do I want Igbuka? Do I want Mason? Yeah. Kind of want Mason. I'm going to go Jordan Mason there. I'm at the turn, so I got to make the picks that I want for the entire rest of the round up front. Shaheed seems like a pretty good pick at 96. He can have the spike weeks. If he's healthy, comes back from the knee injury, doesn't really matter who his QB is. Matters a little bit, but the Saints also were one of those teams with a bye week that was that week 11, so that's pretty far off. And then I get Mason, who has an early bye week, but I think is just a stud. Bindles, appreciate that. Appreciate you. Missed that comment from literally 20 minutes ago. Somehow a 20-second eliminator plus trying to do the side research of the schedule at the same time. Missing out on the chat. Ray McLeod in the 18th over Mooney in the 7th. Wouldn't be me. Doc, if you're still in here, I'm open to the argument, but it wouldn't be me. Mooney's one of the best picks in the 8th round in any format, whether it's an Elam or a Best Ball Mania. Mooney's one of the most explosive wide receivers in the league in 2024. He was number 3 in explosive plays from the wide receiver position with 21 and 15 and 16 games, averaging, what is that? Almost 1.5 explosive plays per game. Per touch, he's the 6th most explosive receiver in the entire game. He has a profile that's similar to, you could say, A.J. Brown, and he had a bounce back year. He's going to be playing with Michael Penix Jr. versus not Christian Kirk Cousins last year. So he's got an upgraded QB who can throw the ball downfield, air it out. Perfect fit for Mooney. Mooney had some giant explosive games last year. He was the wide receiver 3 overall in week 5 and had a bunch of other weeks where he was top 12, top 13. So Mooney was a big hit last year. I'm backing on Mooney. I didn't have enough Mooney last year. I regret not drafting more Mooney. And I think his price going in round 8 is super fair. He could easily be going in round 6. Easily. Think Jameson Williams. I'm so far behind, though. I'll catch up with y'all in a sec. Let me make these picks. Drowning in a 20-second clock. Ooh, Loveland. Not Mims. Come on. Why you guys leave Mims there for me? It's like a sick joke. I'm going to grab Loveland, and then I think Spears is kind of nice, too. I like Garendo. I like all those guys later. Oh, no, Dak Prescott seems pretty nice for this format. Oh, well. I took Dak. I don't think May's going to come back around. I don't need the stack. It's always good to stack, but in this format, specifically, you're just trying to win head-to-heads each week. Dak with his new squad, his new Pickens, and I guess they're just going to run out there with Blue, but it's really, I mean, just like Pickens and then CeeDee Lamb, always good. Dak seems like a good pick. Who took CeeDee Lamb? I think a great pick for the Eliminator. Super high floor and a great ceiling. Deal me in. You didn't want Dak at pick 114? You're crazy, man. Crazy. I think so too. I want to get at least like 100 elims, but maybe max it. I got to set ranks if I'm going to do this many of them, though. Jeffrey, my man, hope you're having a great Thursday night. Appreciate you being here. Sorry I missed your question for so long. If you're still in here, happy to answer it. I'm sure some of the guys in the chat have already touched on this. I'll catch up on that in a second. Olave getting traded? I think so, but he's on his rookie contract, right? Did they extend Olave yet? I'd have to look it up. Chris Olave contract. Because if he's on his rookie contract, they're not going to trade him. Did he get a bag? No, he's still on his 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like to me, at least, he's still on his rookie contract. So if he's still on his rookie contract, I don't see why they would move him. He's not a free agent until 2027, so they'd still have him for this year and next year. I don't see them moving Olave, but maybe. Yeah. In theory, you won't even make it to that week. So week 7 is like if 6% make it to week 5, week 7 would be 1.5% of teams, right? I mean, I could look up the math on that pinned post I have on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at FFB Garage. A lot of good stuff. Not all memes. I do have a meme I want to share with y'all that I was trolling the Patriots in the Bengals fans a couple days ago. I said I would share it last night and I forgot. I'll try to share it after this elim, but mostly good data. Mostly just trying to share data, discuss things with other sharp people in our space, in the fantasy football space in general. So follow me on Twitter at FFB Garage if you're into Twitter. If not, just make sure you're subbed here. Hit the notifications. Come draft with us. Get involved. Hang out in the chat. Ask your questions. A lot of really great people building up the fantasy football garage community. Be a part of it. Come draft with us. The Jags have a fairly awesome early season. That's interesting. The Browns have a good defense. Yeah, you got Myles Garrett. You've always got a chance, right? I would agree. Top 10. And I don't have the Mike Clay projections and positional rankings up, but I would check that is what I always kind of lean on. And I would think yes. Who took Ferguson? Deal me in. I'll go Kincaid, though. And then I like Garendo, too. Kincaid seems good. I'm done at tight end. Went super early. Thielen could always be good. Might just go Garendo. I'll do Garendo. It's a little bit contingent on taking some workload off McCaffrey. If we just keep hearing that he's doing great, doing fine, at least he's on a good team and he's a good pass catching back and he's explosive. So Garendo's a fun one for me. He could just kind of have a big week, win you a week. I don't need a whole lot from running back with Saquon and I think Quinshawn. Quarterback seems good. I'd like to stack someone with Dak, but I don't have to in this format, so it's not the end of the world. Ferguson would have been nice. Of course, I already have 3 tight ends. I half forgot that I drafted Loveland, but I want to get the stack with Kincaid too because that feels pretty strong. And I didn't get Coleman. I don't know where Coleman went. I think I would have had to take Coleman over Shaheed, where I did. And if I look at the board, I think Coleman went right after that. No, yeah, essentially, but he actually almost came back around. I would have taken Coleman over Colston Loveland. I didn't realize it was that close. Caleb falls a little bit. I think Michael Penix is a good pick in this format. On real time. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be all right. It's hard to know that kind of stuff. I would agree. Yeah, I went for the 3 tight ends pretty early through 12 rounds for super high floor, high ceiling with Colston Loveland, Kincaid stacked up with Josh Allen, and then the Kittle. So I'm avoiding the late tight ends because I want guys who are going to start all year long in this format and be used heavily in their offense. Kincaid, former first round pick, year 3 breakout incoming. Colston Loveland, the next Travis Kelce. You heard it here first, but people have been saying it. I'm not the first one to say it. And then of course Kittle we know can win. He's just always good. So I think if you're going to go with tight ends, you can either just go punt tight end and go super late, or kind of go a little bit earlier and then secure the floor for the weekly head-to-head upside. Because at least in my mind, I've got running back pretty covered. It's the wide receiver where I'm weakest right now, and that's where I'm going to take a bunch of wide receivers for the rest of this draft. So I'm at my next pick is 168, 169. Wide receivers already thinned out. Josh Palmer's still there. Cedric Tillman's interesting. I'm probably done at QB, I would guess. QJ's interesting. Legette's fine. Pierce is nice. Michael Wilson's kind of a floor play. The other thing about this, who cares about week 17 correlation? All you should care about is your buys, and that's it. And just take good players. Got a problem in week 9, so I need some more running backs without week 9 bye if I make it that far. Odds are you don't. Week 12, kind of the same thing. So I'm just going to flood my team with the remaining wide receivers. Could be a 2, 5, 9, 2. No, not 2, 5, 8, 3, I think. So I need one more running back that doesn't have a week 9 bye. But at the same time, if I make it to week 9, that's good enough. I mean, hard to do. A lot of those wide receivers I'd queued up have gone. Justice Hill's probably good in this format. I'll get Leggett and then probably Pierce too. Yeah, Justice Hill should be really good in this format. Pierce. So I've started to go back at the wide receivers, just guys that can maybe win me a week with a big score. I don't know about Leggett. I just took him in 2 drafts back to back. Feels kind of weird. Alec Pierce is good. Dang, I've got 2 on bye in week 11, 2 in week 14, 2 in week 12. I guess that's pretty far off, though. That's decent. If that's the weakest part of this team, then I'm in a good spot. Let's see what y'all are doing in this round. This round's interesting because this is where it really separates. Here's where it really separates from the Best Ball Mania ADPs. You see Jaleel McLaughlin getting drafted, which is probably a decent floor play. Marshawn Lloyd's already gone. Roshan Johnson, another good floor play. Justice Hill, like I said, was going to go soon. I almost took him. I guess that pushes these tight ends down. You see Zach Ertz going later. A little later, not too much. What up, Tim D? How you doing tonight, my man? I've seen you utilizing your FanSpeak Best Ball subscription. I see you in the comments there. I've been reading the articles every morning. I see you commenting there as well. Appreciate you being here tonight. Hope you're having a great Thursday night, my man. I would never take an elite tight end in this format to win a head-to-head. I think I'd want one. I mean, it's expensive. You could definitely get a lot of value, going with a running back or a wide receiver in that range. I'm probably playing a little bit of catch up, but I mean, I went heavy at tight end. I'm trying to get a really high floor at tight end. And the late tight ends are more useless in this format. Like, I mean, Gesicki and Otten are still good. So, like, this is not late yet. But waiting for a tight end in, like, week 17, 18, or round 17, 18 seems like a really bad idea in this format where it's, if you have a low floor, you're done. I don't know. It could be wrong. This is a really new, interesting format. So, nothing's really proven yet. But happy to discuss. Yeah, 100% coach's dream. That was 20 minutes ago. I'm so far behind with y'all. Sorry about that. Shador is going to be the Browns QB. You can dream, Fantasy Dog, but maybe. Judkins Price for the Eliminator. I think it seems good. Yeah, I don't know. I took him because I'm at the turn, and it just seems like I needed him there. Can you pick it? That'd be crazy. Pitts, Mooney, Robinson, London is how Chris likes it. I'm not really in on Pitts. Of course, I like Robinson. And then London seems fine. Mooney, and I love Mooney. I think Mooney's the best priced. Yeah, that's the dream. Mooney and Penix connection. I got 3 picks left. I need one more running back. and then a bunch of wide receivers. Corum seems like a great pick here. Otherwise, who else actually will get touches? That's it. It's Corum for sure. Zach Moss. Corum's a great pick here, I think. He didn't do much last year, but we'll see if they give him some work. To go Pat Bryant again, I'm just obsessed with Pat Bryant. Calvin Austin will be playing unless they pull someone else in. Tutu's not bad. I don't really want Hopkins or Lockett or Tolbert. Give me Pat Bryant. Maybe he just wins out the role early on. I've got him and Sutton. So that's interesting. And who else did I have? Just those two. I think the running backs look good. I think Mason takes over the work very soon, very early on. Gets a lot of the touches, probably out touches Aaron Jones sooner than later. Maybe not to begin the season, but I got Saquon to cover for that and Quinshawn. Week 9, I'd be pretty thin with Mason, Garindo, and Corum. So I might take one more running back and then just play it thin at wide receiver with 7. Because of the bye week issue in week 9, if I ever made it that far, I wouldn't want to have just Mason, Garindo, and Corum. Mason could be fine in week 9, but then Garindo, you never know, and Corum, I guess I'm hoping he gets touches, but you just never know. So I'm starting to think, and then so that's week 9. I have every single wide receiver playing every week all the way through week 9. You could always flex a tight end. That's the other reason I would probably still take an elite tight end is worst case scenario, Kittle and Leveland both go off. Kittle hits my flex, and that would help a lot. You don't want that often, but it's at least possible. So that's another reason I don't mind the 3 tight ends with a little bit higher floors. Am I good with these 7 wide receivers? I could just be good. I think I am. Because of the late bye weeks. I have 3 on bye in week 12, so I'd be starting 4. I'd be Diggs, Shaheed, Leggett, and Pierce. Is that better or worse? If I added one more wide receiver super late to that, does that make it any better in week 12 than week 9 having only 3 running backs and needing 2? In week 9, if I make it to week 9, I'm gonna need 2 running backs. If I only have 3 to pick from, that's pretty thin. Versus in week 12, which the odds of making it there is like tiny. It's not even 1%. It's so low to any team makes it to week 12. It's ridiculously low. It's like less than 0.1%. I would have to start 3 wide receivers between Diggs, Shaheed, Leggett, and Pierce. And then I'm flexing. I don't have any running backs on bye, so I could start 3 out of those 5. Plus, I can potentially flex a tight end. They're all there. I think it'd be worse to have to start 2 out of these 3 running backs in week 9 than to start 3 out of these 4 wide receivers in week 12. Does that make sense? Maybe I need another running back. Mims was the pick. Who Hames is taunting me? Joe Flacco. Yeah, I think it's Flacco to start the season for sure. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Besh. You think so, Who Hames? I guess just I'm thinking he's cheap. Like, he's cheap. Why would you get rid of him? Just keep him. But I guess he needs the extension and he's looking for it this season. Okay, Tutu's there. I think I made my case. I want another running back if there's anyone that's good. There was no good running backs. So I was going to take a running back. There just weren't any good ones. Only my second Elam. I've tried to join Elams. They haven't been filling. 2583 build. Bunch of y'all are in here. Didn't stack Dak with anyone. Could have gone Tolbert or Turpin or whatever. Kavontae Turpin or Jalen Tolbert with the last pick. Didn't feel it. I like Tutu a little bit better. 2583. Yeah, could be a tough situation if I make it all the way to week 9 and then don't have my top 2 running backs. That's kind of bad. But at least I'll have both QBs to hit on, every wide receiver to hit on, and every tight end, and get a flex out of a tight end if I needed it. I think that's a pretty low floor, though, for Mason, Garindo, and Corum to be the options. Maybe they bench Kyron in the bye week and come back out with Corum as the starter in week 9. There's a story for you. Could happen. Maybe by week 9, Garindo's taking over 10 touches, 12 touches a game, and he's doing a lot with them. I'd hope Mason is already at like 15 plus touches a game at that point. My overrated tight end, I would probably say Kyle Pitts as well. Overrated. I think McBride is good, just expensive, so I wouldn't call him overrated. Who do I really think is overrated based on my ranks? Probably Sam Laporta is a little bit overrated, a little bit expensive. It's really more of the opportunity cost. There are a lot of good running backs and still some good wide receivers that go in this range. So the opportunity cost to take Laporta is pretty high, in my opinion. I don't know if that's a great answer. Is Dallas Goedert overrated tight end? Is he more overrated than Pitts? I don't think Dallas Goedert's overrated. I think the injury last year held him back. He's never been a huge touchdown upside guy, but he plays in a good offense. He has a good role. They trust him. So yeah, I don't know. See, Hartman went right over my head, but I'm not surprised. You're very sharp. So I knew you weren't off on that one. You take Brock Bowers. Yeah, okay. Jameer Gibbs Bowers. I like that start. And then Rice. Very nice. T-Mac. Ooh. Okay, 2 things. One, I'll get to you on a sec, but I took Genty last draft. I'll do a short version of the Genty clip. Let's hit it right now. But overall, it's like the guy can. That wasn't it. The short version, but I just watched the whole thing because it's always fun to watch those highlights. Let's see. Amari Cooper is younger than Cooper Kupp, Steph Diggs, and Keenan Allen. Yeah, that's crazy. I know. Cooper fell off so hard last season. I hope he comes back, but man, he did not look good on the Bills. Tough. Maybe he's washed. I don't know. Everyone hits the age cliff at a different time. Devontae Adams still out here putting up work. Which of the Jets players? I like Breece Hall. I like Mason Taylor. I like Justin Fields. I think the Jets are in a good spot. Their offensive line is going to be good. They've been reinvesting in the offensive line consistently, so I think that's going to be one of their strengths, no doubt, going forward. Where it's been a weakness maybe in the recent years, but I think it should be a strength for them. Yeah, it's tough with Amari Cooper. It's just wow. I know Pat from the Fantasy Dog Pound put out a question on Twitter last year around the time when Cooper was traded. So let's imagine it's 2023. Cooper was a guy you needed. Now we're going into 2024. Cooper's going in the 4th round of drafts. And he goes from the Browns to the Bills. Pat tweets out, if you knew Amari Cooper was a Bill, and this is like in the middle of the season, but if you knew he was going to be a Bill during the summer while we were drafting, where would you take him? And I, without looking at the comments, I said round 7 because I don't know. I guess I just always thought Cooper should be going later than he was going. And then being on a new team mid-season, maybe not great. And then it's kind of crowded. They got Keon, whatever's going on. The Bills aren't really utilizing one wide receiver as the primary. They spread it out a lot. Josh Allen runs a lot. So I said round 7. Every single comment was like round 2 or 3, and I couldn't believe it. But then he ended up being a bust. So I don't know if I was right or if it was just a sad result. But Amari Cooper was a guy you needed in 2023. Last year was a big letdown. Now he's not even getting drafted. Or maybe he gets drafted sometimes. I'm not drafting him. Are you guys drafting Cooper? I don't think we're drafting Cooper. He was getting drafted in the big board sometimes. Yeah, week 12 pays out money for sure. I think the odds of getting there is infinitesimally small, though. So we got to get there. That's the goal. Get to week 12, and you're doubling your money every week you advance. Abdul Carter, Thibodeau, Barnes, the Giants on defense. Yeah, that's true. I guess that makes sense why they would get rid of him before they have to pay him the contract, but I'm just thinking maybe they keep him. But maybe trade him now and get something for him and instead of just letting him walk in free agency makes sense. I did see that. Yeah, that's why I was confused if they had already re-signed him, but it was it's pretty expensive for that. So I think so too. If y'all watched BBG and Cody do Jeopardy last night on the Fanspeak network, check it out if you haven't. It was a really fun show. I watched it after my stream. I think I finished it this morning. I won't spoil it for you, but there's a lot of Brees centric inside jokes from that show. So check that one out. And then we're just, we were drafting Brees in the 1st round last year ahead of Bijan sometimes. Crazy to think how far he's gone. See ya, Who Hames. Catch you later, my man. First Elam review, please. Lawsimo, no doubt. We'll do that real quick. We'll look at mine. We'll look at yours real quick. Yeah, I'm not drafting Cooper. On real time. Dad's drafting Cooper. I'm not surprised. Not sure if you're serious, though. But I think you are. Please ask Sus how much Cooper he has on your stream Friday. Oh, God, is it a lot? Sus in the Discords. Maybe though. But how much of a better situation can you get than being on the Bills and then floundering? So it's kind of tough. Yeah, I'll have to ask Sus about his Cooper take if I remember. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to show you. Let's review Lawsimo's team, my team. We'll also look at. I was trolling the Patriots and the Bengals fans this week. We'll take a look at that on Twitter. Let's get into this team review. Let's do mine super quick. 2583, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, stacked Josh Allen with Kincaid. Prescott didn't stack him, but I think just a good high floor pick. Obviously could have a ceiling to it too. So I've got nice quarterback pairs. Somewhat of an early buy with Josh Allen, but Prescott should be able to cover. Barkley and Quinshawn, if I make it to week 9, I'm doing good. So I'm not super worried about the buys, but I was thinking about taking one more running back. In on Mason in every format. Garindo is great. Want to get more of them. Corum could be nice too. Maybe they actually use him this year versus his rookie year. Kind of like they didn't use Kyron's rookie year, but they use him his sophomore year a lot. So maybe they split more with Corum now that they trust him, get him in here. Tyreek and Sutton need more. Sutton for sure. Tyreek seems fine in this format. A lot of Diggs, Scott Shaheed, Leggett, Pierce, Bryant. I got to find another click in this range that's not just Bryant every time, but I still like Bryant. Tutu, they should use him. Could be a strong passing offense, maybe better than last year's with Devontae Adams now. So it could be interesting. He's going to be going up against some pretty weak corners, I would hope, with Puka and Devontae Adams getting a lot of the coverage. And then really strong at tight end, helping out the floor and the ceiling. Let's check out Lalsamo's team. 3672. Drafting from the... What spot did you have? What based on your wide receiver? You had Chase. You had the 2 spot, right? You got Chase right after me. Knew it. It's been so long since this draft finished, though. I had already forgotten. Got the Burrow stack. I like that. You get Tua, you get Aaron Rodgers. I think 3 quarterbacks makes a lot of sense. You paid up for Burrow, but then you get a later value with these 2 guys. So I think that makes a lot of sense. We're assuming Rodgers is a Steeler too. I don't know if y'all heard this intel, but if you haven't, I'll break the news. Cody was saying last night on the Jeopardy stream that Aaron Rodgers, it's leaked that he's, I think, considering or already purchased a membership to a country club in Pittsburgh that's very famous and exclusive. So that is pretty telling that he's going to live in Pittsburgh if he's already got a golf membership there. It's a little insider knowledge. Chase Brown, Hampton. I like the Bengals stack for the strength. If they come out the gate hot, this is good. Hampton, I think, is a great pick in general. Might be a tiny bit riskier in the eliminator, but I still think they're going to use him a bunch. It's just maybe they split the work with Najee a little bit more in the beginning, but who knows? Love the Algier pick. Got a ton of Algier. Half of my best ball manias. That's the exposure that I'm showing. I have filtered it for just BBM. I guess I could filter it for all the tournaments. Probably make more sense, but doesn't really matter. I haven't done enough eliminators. It's only my second one. I think the Hill pick was good. I almost took him. Shipley, why not? And then Neal. So that's 6. Pretty deep at running back. Makes sense. Neal could be something too. Chase and Higgins. Okay, you're really betting on the Bengals. I think that's a bit risky in this format, but if they come out hot, it's good. There's a lot of draft capital up front. You might want to spread it around a little bit more. So, you imagine in week 2, if they have a bad game, your whole team's going to be kind of tanked. And then a Dunze, we need him to have a breakout year. Shakir, a good floor play, I think. So for this format, better than usual. Pittman could be good. Got Kirk. Could be maybe it is Kirk who holds down the role the whole year and is healthy versus Noel. I'm trying to get off the Noel. I don't even think I moved Noel down in my ranks yet, but I need to get off that click around pick 150. I've just been doing it too much. Quentin Johnston, nice little piece at the end. Jonnu and Kelsey. I think that's enough at tight end. Yeah, that works. The mid tight ends. Johnny's got a pretty high floor. Kelsey got the ceiling these days, at least. Touchdown dependent, but maybe he gets some more. Maybe he has like one last season with like a big touchdown upside for Kelsey. He's always been more of a yardage and receptions guy, but I think at this point in his career, it's just like end zone touchdowns. Yeah, the naked Rodgers, but excuse me, for this format, it's just, I think it's just covering your bases of having some QBs that are going to be playing. Like I took the naked Dak, but I think it works. Cooper bounce back. I mean, it's not the craziest thing to happen. Burrow and friends have to finally start fast, don't they? Yeah. Let me look at the implied odds on that. So the first, and this is for Lawsmo's team. The first 3 games the Bengals play: Cleveland at Cleveland, pretty good defense we've established. Then Jacksonville in the second game, at Minnesota in the third game. I guess the Jacksonville and the Minnesota are technically good matchups. They played Denver in week 4. That's going to be pretty tough matchup. Interesting. All right, let me see. Let me find this tweet. I feel like I had something else to show, but I can't remember. I'll find it real quick. Okay, I found it. Okay, let me share this. Let me share this whole screen. Okay. So this was when, and there wasn't a whole lot of news. This was, was May 14th? It was literally yesterday. I guess it was a lot of news. There's a lot going on. The schedule dropped, all this stuff. But one of the only other transactional items was Adam Schefter tweeted, Patriots signed running back Travion Williams, who spent the past 6 seasons with the Bengals. And so that logically, Patriots, cheaters, stealing plays. So that's where my mind went immediately. And anytime you can respond to an Adam Schefter tweet that gets almost 1 million views, go ahead and do it. And then I had Grok create this. It's a picture of a half Bengals, half Patriots, Travion Williams handing Mike Vrabel, the coach of the Patriots, the playbook from the Bengals. And I said, here's a real image of Williams handing over the Bengals playbook in real time. Go Pats. And yeah, just a lot of fun engagement. A bunch of responses. And then just a lot of fun. So that's half of the reason to follow me on Twitter then. The other half is for the good data and stuff that we post, like this, like looking at a Darnell Mooney profile, green lights all the way. Let's look into that. I'm curious to understand more about that. Is that right? It could be true. I don't know for sure. So, player profiler, DK Metcalf, does he handle contested catches well? Let's look at the advanced metrics. We know he's good. We know he's explosive. He's on the Steelers now. Contested, so catchable target rate. That's not exactly what we need. There's a true catch rate, which is not that good. Here it is, contested catch rate, 19%, number 100 among wide receivers out of 26 targets. So you're spot on there. And it's probably too small. Maybe I can get a little, wrong screen. Maybe I can make this a little bit bigger for y'all like that. I think that helps a little bit. Right here, contested catch rate, number 100 among wide receivers last year. So you're on to something there. Reflect the sun. Oh, that's crazy, but you've done a few elims already? You've done a few? That's only my second one. I wanna do a lot more, but I like it. It can be. It can be. You can definitely build a portfolio that way. I don't disagree. Yeah. Yeah, the Browns. You appreciate that. Yeah, I thought I was pretty good. Mooney, Metcalf, DK, DK. Who was the other DK player that Pat couldn't pronounce on like his first best ball breakfast? It was the Chimeri DK, Shimmery Dyke. That was hilarious in real time. I'm pretty sure y'all were there for that. Shimmery Dyke. It's a callback. Yeah. He's. I mean, I guess he's not a good contested catch guy. We know that. Let's do one more comparison because I'm curious to see now. I don't look at contested catches that much, like that often. I want to see where Sutton goes because I would think Sutton's a good contested catch guy. The reason I want to compare is because like 6'3", 218, 32-inch arms. Compare that to DK Metcalf, right? So we'll go back. So 6'3", 218, 6'3", 228, 34. So DK is a little bit bigger, a lot faster, but I bet Cortland Sutton's better at contested catches. Just off the top of my head, I would think so. There's the 1787 air yards. Oof. Want to chase that. Definitely. He's explosive. He's good enough. Let's go look at the contested catch. Cortland Sutton, number 3 in the league in contested catch rate with 60% on 33 targets. That's why you want to draft Cortland Sutton. Maybe we move him up in the ranks even more. He's good. He's really good. I don't know how I didn't memorize that stat. I did the whole 4-minute Cortland Sutton intro on the Tuesday show. I looked through every advanced stat, the unrealized air yards, the total touch, everything. Somehow I didn't realize his true. I did notice. I know his. I actually mentioned. I think his true catch rate. I know I mentioned his red zone targets and air yards, and I also mentioned something else. But number 3 in contested catch rate's pretty impressive. Draft Cortland Sutton. Get some more Sutton on your teams. He's good. He's being undervalued by a lot. It's the most expensive we've had to pay up for him in a while in fantasy, but he's still worth it. Imagine how Gino could be when he has better. Yeah, how good Gino can be. I think Gino can be good in Vegas. Yeah, that's interesting, Chris. It's interesting. We're learning things every night here. Another reason to subscribe to the channel, to come here, to draft with us, talk with the chat. We're testing the hypothesis. We're looking at the data. We're getting into it. We're getting smarter. We're getting better. We're learning things. Next time someone says Cortland, no one ever says Cortland Sutton sucks because he's so undervalued that there's no argument against him. Everyone's like, yeah, he's good enough. Yeah, but then he's still undervalued. But the argument is he had the second most air yards in the league. He's number 3 in contested catches in 2024. They're going to throw to him a lot. Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, that was hilarious. I just realized what you meant with that when Pete said that. It was hilarious. Yeah. Number 3. Interesting. Yep, it was. Yeah, Sutton's going to be a free agent after this season, so You would think the Broncos would be smart and re-sign him, although maybe they won't because he'll be going into his age 31 season. So Sutton is likely to have this season. He'll be good. He'll be with the Broncos next year. Who knows where he's going to end up and how that will turn out for him. But let's look at one other receiver that I think should be good at contested catches, and that's Mr. Davante Adams. And this is a stat from last year. So we know he's good at contested catches historically, and he's been better at air yards historically. So, the level of air yards that Sutton had last season is on par with like what Davante Adams career average has been, really high. We know Adams is good. Let's look at his contested catch rate. Only 49th, so not actually that good. I think it was a down year for him. If we go back and look at 2023, we can actually look through all of the years. 2023 would have been much better. 2022 is probably the best recent example. 2021 is just so long ago. But this is 2023. No, he's 61. So this is interesting. What about 22 when he was still kind of in his prime? 81. Interesting. Really interesting. Okay, I would have thought Davante Adams was better at contested catches. He's apparently not. What about Hopkins? Hopkins, not last year, but more in his the end of his prime. If I looked at 2022 is a decent year, maybe 2020 if we have to. Yeah, he's not good anymore. 2022 contested catch rate, not good, 68th. And then 2020, where at least he was still in his prime, number 40. It's really interesting. So guys that I would think are good at contested catches are just kind of average or not that good. So it's very interesting. Good stuff to look into. Yeah, Cortland is a card up the sleeve. I think that's a great way to put it. Let's look at these definitions too. We're looking at, first we want to look at what does catch rate mean? Because Ricky P has a 142% catch rate. That's weird. I'll have to look into that one. Catch rate, the true catch rate, total receptions by total catchable targets. So it couldn't be, you're always going to have more targets than receptions. And the true versus the actual, I'm not sure. Pearsall's is messed up or something? Or is that just a joke? I take things literally. Pearsall, negative air yards compared to his receiving yards. 6 explosive plays in 11 games played. Yeah, I came back from the injury. Some of these are back weighted. He's not explosive. He's not good. Pearsall's one of the most overpriced players on the entire board. But what is he actually good at? Nothing. These are all volume-based stats, though. True catch rate. Yeah, you're right. 182%. I don't know what that is. It looks like it's broken. I can reach out to them and ask them if they've got a messed up stat here. Good looking out. 182% divides total receptions by total catchable targets. So total receptions 31 divided by, let me do the math. That would mean he only had how many catchable targets? 1.8 times, no, 31 divided by 1.8. That would suggest he only had 17 catchable targets. So the 31 divided by 17 would get us to 182%. So I don't know if that's just a small sample size problem or if there's some bad reference in the data there. But what it looks like is that would assume, or was it targets? Because it's 46 targets. Yeah, that would assume so he had 31 receptions. If Brock Purdy had 17 catchable targets out of the 46, that's the only way you get to 182% catchable targets. So that would mean he had 29 targets that were not catchable, which is also weird. And considering his air yards are so low, that doesn't seem likely. But I don't know. Maybe I'll reach out. I'll reach out to Player Profiler and I'll say, check the stat. What's going on here? It's not the first time. We found things before on here. I think we were looking at this with PPR Tyler one time. We found something, and I forget what it was, but it was a small sample size problem, and they just have to like set limits on running the calc if the sample size is too small, and so that's probably what that is. So it's not like it's wrong. It's just manipulating a small sample size to give you some skewed, weird looking things. Target separation. So these are efficiency stats. So you could argue Pearsall didn't play a lot, but if you look at his efficiency stats, terrible at target separation. Target premium's not good enough to justify his price. He goes as like wide receiver, what, like 35, 40? He's outside of that on a lot of these efficiency metrics. Production premium, though, is decent there. QB rating per target, he's pretty good at. His route win rate's pretty terrible. His value, if you just drafted any other player at ADP, you're going to get better value than taking Pearsall where he goes. That's what that pretty much means. Let's go back to Sutton's. Is Sutton a valuable player? He was wide receiver 15 in 2024. But he's number 24 in fantasy points per game. So per game is a little bit different, I guess. Some guys don't play a full season. The wide receiver 15 is because he played every game. What would be Sutton's value over replacement? Plus 2.4. Not the highest, number 78 overall, but pretty good. And this is more of a redraft stat, but I think it still applies to if you think about just like taking any other player. If we look at Saquon's I think is the highest. He's very good. Number 1 in explosive plays among running backs. Number 3 in rushing. Number 7 in receiving. Number 3 overall per touch. Very good. Everyone knows it. Number 1 value over stream. So the most valuable player over replacement, it scales up to about 10. So he's a 9.8, which was the highest last year. So that's a good context. If you were a negative 1 or 2, you're pretty much below replacement, which means shouldn't be drafted, which is like a Pearsall. Another player that commonly comes up is people's favorite player to draft in best ball right now. Maybe he takes a giant leap forward in year 2, but it's not looking good for Odunze. He played every game. He got a lot of targets. He didn't do anything with it. He does have a lot of air yards, which can be a good signal. Needs a better O-line and a better quarterback play to realize those. Value over stream, almost -1. So you're better off drafting the next player than drafting Odunze. I think Mims, and we're going to go back to Mims because we talked about him so much. I think his is actually decent. He's decently explosive. I think his value, did we already look at it? No, it's -1.5. That's right. I almost forgot all the 0 games he had. Marvin Mims, terrible. Draft anyone else. I almost got suckered back into the Marvin Mims, but then I looked at the data. He's terrible. One other player I don't like drafting. It's more of a best ball take, but Shakir's more of a floor play, not really a ceiling play. He's not good. He's not explosive. He played 15 games, less than, an explosive play per game. A compiler, a volume play. His value over the stream, though, is because he's consistent. So I'm not surprised to see that there, that it thinks he's a good pick. Best ball points added, number 40 among receivers, but he finished the wide receiver 37. He's getting drafted higher than that. I don't think he's a good pick. Who else? What was the last pick? I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to look at. Overvalued players. I think that's pretty much it. That'd be interesting. Yeah, the U and the Cortland Sutton. Learn how to spell, man. What up, Jamie? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good night. We wrapped up 2 drafts. We did a best ball mania to start. It was pretty good, and then a decent team, and then we did an unlimited. And actually, the best ball mania was almost a hyper fragile. I had 4 running backs through 6 rounds. I ended up taking 5 just to get Justice Hill on the squad. It was a Lamar stack. Also had Mark Andrews. And then we did an eliminator, and we got a bunch of guys in here in it. It was pretty fun. We'll do more eliminators soon. I kind of want to like end every stream with an eliminator. It's just a fun one to do. And we can all be in it. We can all advance out of round 1. Never see each other again because the head-to-heads. So that's kind of the fun of the eliminator is we don't have to be so contentious. Like if I'm drafting a best ball mania, I don't want 6 of you in the room because best case scenario, 4 of you lose and don't advance, and that's not fun for anyone. Plus, we're all pretty sharp, so it makes it hard for the room. But for a puppy, who cares? And for an eliminator, we can all 6 advance together out of the first round. And like I said, the head-to-heads never see each other again. So I'm down for that. I think the eliminator is the perfect streaming format tournament. So Pearsall is catching stuff that's not even considered catchable. What a dog. Hey, maybe that is part of it. I don't know. Maybe we do need to consider that. I'm interested to look up McLaurin. I believe you on Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's look up McLaurin because I did a ton of research on McLaurin this week too, and everything looks pretty good. He's very fair priced. He's the most expensive he's ever been, and it's a fair price because of the touchdowns. He's good enough. He's pretty good. Let's look. Number 6 in contested catch rate. So you're right there, Chris. You're spot on. Value over stream. Of course, it's high because of the touchdowns and the consistency year over year, or game over game. I mean, the second most touchdowns among wide receivers, only behind Jamar Chase. Chase had 17, McLaurin had 13, and then McLaurin had 3 more in the playoffs too. So let me let the dog out of the room, and then we'll come back to this conversation. Okay. Had to let the dog out. Okay, that's good intel. Yeah, Monroe and Chris Godwin. I believe it. I when I see those players in my head, I think of them catching contested catches. So that makes sense. Oh, that's weird. It's because of a different Kenneth Walker. That's weird. Ricky will take a bullet for your team. That's true. That is true. And we appreciate him for that. It's tough living in San Francisco. It's a very dangerous city. I'm going to let the dog back in because she already wants back in. Let's do the T-Mac clip. I'll be back in 10 seconds. Yeah. T-Mac's the man. Contested catches. He's going to be top 10 in the league. Almost for sure. What are we saying? Jerry Jeudy, a great value too. Wasn't he top 15 last year? Yeah, I think he is. I mean, Flacco's going to be there chunking the ball up to him. So could be good. I think Judy's a fine play for sure. And then who's he competing with, right? Who else is going to catch balls in Cleveland? Njoku, Judy. They're going to run the ball a lot, but they're going to be behind a lot too. Tough schedule for them. The Vegas has them losing like every game, or a dog in every game at least. 65% contested catch rate. That's pretty high, right? So then probably that seems like his profile, right? I'm still learning more about Trey Harris. Yeah, McLaurin's good at it. I believe that. About Mims being used over 60% of snaps the last few games. Back on Mims. Let's look at his snaps in his career. We'll start with his first year. 2023 game log. He didn't hit more than 50% of snaps until week 10, and he put up negative 0.3 points. He then went on to have 3 points. They gave him less snaps because he's terrible. He gets 5 points. He never eclipsed 50% of snaps again, and he never eclipsed 5 fantasy points, except in week 16 he had 7. This is PPR, so it's a little bit exaggerated too. So that's what we're working with Marvin Mims. And then 2024, they hate him. I'll zoom in a bit. Is that better? Yeah, it's a little better. They hate him. He's not playing any snaps. He doesn't do anything. They need him to play by week 16. He gives you 62 yards. Week 17, he goes against the Bengals, which I guess are notoriously easy to beat in the air, right? Isn't that true? Is that what we remember from last season? He plays half the snaps, and he has a good game. He's a guy you need in week 17. The best game of his career. The next week, they dial back his snaps. But in the playoffs, they need something from him. They give him 69% of snaps, the highest snaps he's ever played in his career. He rewards them with 3.3 PPR points. So we're out on Marvin Mims completely. I don't think I'll draft him a single time in best ball. He is better in best ball, but he's not good. We talked about Mims a lot tonight. But I respect y'all's opinion. If you like Mims, if you think he can take a step forward, if that's your hypothesis, if there's something else there, then I'm interested. But not for me. Yeah, Judy will be good. Mims had... Mims has been bad for 2 years. He's just not good. The touchdowns, I guess, are lucky because the Broncos are a good team. And so they're putting him in a position to score touchdowns. Maybe he's more of a touchdown merchant. I view Mims as like a special teamer. I think he's a punt returner and nothing else. But we'll see. We've done a lot of Mims research. I did a deep dive on the Broncos this week, and I came up with about 3 thoughts. One, the Broncos have a good defense and the number 1 run blocking offensive line in the league. Wheels up for RJ Harvey. Running the ball, running the clock out, winning those games with their defense and the run game. Running it more than they did last year. They finally have a good running back. Estime, McLaughlin, and Javonte Williams squandered the league's best run blocking offensive line. They squandered the opportunities. They get RJ Harvey. They're going to bring him in. If they give him a lot of touches, he'll be good. Score a lot of touchdowns. So that's my first takeaway for the Broncos. Second one is Courtland Sutton is very, very good, very undervalued. And it's probably his last season with the Broncos, unless they give him a sweetheart deal and extend him because he's always been there. So they could do that too. And then the third takeaway is Marvin Mims is not good. Devon Bailey is not good. They're both liable to get replaced. They're both very likely to get replaced by Pat Bryant. If not this season, then sooner than later. Yes. Oh, what up, Brian? How you doing? Yes, Jamie, gotcha 10 minutes ago. Just catching up. Sorry about that. This is playerprofiler.com. One of my favorite sites. I've been using this since about 2018. It gets better every year. They keep adding more data and metrics to it. They've got premium subscription packages too. They do it all. A good site. A lot of sharp people. Fun stuff. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a great Thursday night. Thanks for checking out the stream. Draft with us again next time. We're going to be drafting again soon. Probably tomorrow night. I mean, definitely tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we're doing Fast Draft Friday on the stream here. And then 10 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to jump over to Nick Box stream, guest over there, draft some elims with him and Sus Edwards and some stuff. And then more streams to come over the weekend. You already heard my schedule. I announced at the beginning of this stream and then also in the middle. Tons of guests next week. And then, of course, you see the banner, BALLSY, featuring BINDLES and myself. Monday night, 8:30 p.m. Central. Be there. We're going to talk about our rookie dynasty drafts and draft the Best Ball Mania team again. Oh, Jamie has the all-in package. Yes. Very cool. There you go. Very nice. Yeah, the all-in package is great. Yeah, all roads lead to Mims. So we got to find a way. We got to create a graphic that just summarizes the whole points against Mims that we can share with everyone because people love Mims. And I don't blame them, but I think it's recency bias because he's a guy you needed in week 17 or he's on winning rosters or whatever it was, or he's super fast or he went to Oklahoma or he's a cool name, Marvin Mims. It's an alliteration and he's just not good at fantasy. He's not good for fantasy. Disbanded believes. See, people still believe he has the spike weeks in him. He's still. Should we look at the game logs for the fourth time? How many negative point weeks do you need to see? How many 0 point weeks do you need to see? I don't get it. I don't know. Pat Bryant over Mims? I think yes. This is a pro Pat Bryant stream channel position. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Savion. I got to do more research on Savion. I'm not really drafting him yet, but interested. Okay, that's perfect. We'll have Thad on real time, getting all the Mims, and then we can grab every other player around him and achieve value over the stream or value over the draft room if you're kind of converting this to a best ball type of metric. I know it's a redraft thing and like streaming and all that kind of stuff, streaming players. But if we convert that to a best ball metric, it's good. I will say Marvin Mims, for how bad he was, right? He was the wide receiver 57 overall. And I guess it's about where he's getting drafted. In best ball points added, he was number 48. So he's a little bit better in best ball than overall. Pretty good in points per target and fantasy points per route run. So there's something there. They just don't use him a lot. Number 1 in target separation. There's something there. But again, he doesn't get the snaps. He has a small sample size. He's not good. He's a special teamer. They're going to replace him. negative air yards over receiving yards, tons of 0 weeks, practically a dead roster spot until week 17 last year, and that's why he's getting drafted. BBG, what up? How you doing, my man? Yeah, Mims missed his window. I think so. Missed your window at age 23. Life comes at you fast. You know that. Life comes at you fast. We've been talking about Marvin Mims for so long. How many spike weeks? If you give me one spike week, I would take you in round 18. That's where I'll draft Marvin Mims. If Marvin Mims is available in round 18, maybe even 17, I would draft him. Before that, no. Had no competition, still couldn't play, still lost snaps to Vele. Savion stat approved. We'd like Savion. I need to figure out how to draft him. If by the time you have your love stacks and then you're like looking for another Packer, you have to pass on Kraft, Dubs, Wicks, and then it's like, oh yeah, and there's Savion there. I mean, also there's Marshawn Lloyd's there. You have to pass on all these guys to end up with Savion. So I just don't see it yet in best ball drafting Savion, but I'm close to getting there. We need more camp news. We need some more interesting tidbits that they're going to trade Dobbs or Wicks, and then Savion's going to get more snaps or something. I don't know. Franklin for the Broncos. I think I like Franklin a lot better than Mims as well. We'll see if Franklin can do something. Franklin's young too. Franklin's 22. So if you need a young upside rookie or sophomore wide receiver breakout on the Broncos, look at Franklin, who's free. He'll give you a spike week. Or Pat Bryant, who's also very cheap and could just take over the role, either Vele's slot role or Mims' outside role. So I'd bet on not even at cost, just like head to head, I would bet on Pat Bryant or Franklin over Mims. Franklin is a little bit tougher to sell because he also had some like pretty bad weeks, a lot of zeros, but yeah, out on Mims. He had 6 usable. We've looked at his game log so many times. He didn't have any good weeks. He was so bad. 6 usable games out of the 8. He was number 48 wide receiver in best ball points added. So I don't think that's 6 usable weeks. 6 usable weeks is like Jameson Williams talk. Jameson Williams had like more than 6. He had like 11, but who had 6 usable weeks? 6 usable weeks is like a wide receiver 3. So, okay, DJ Moore didn't have 6 usable weeks. DJ Moore barely had 6 usable weeks. He's also super overpriced. It's PPR, so this is not perfect, but DJ Moore is a bad pick this year. We've started to realize that his ADP is falling. To be usable, for me, you need to be a top 24 receiver. This is PPR, so it's going to be a little bit off. But, okay, maybe you hit the lineup at top 30. We can expand it a little bit. Let's say top 30 is fine because that could be a flex, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't count week 18. It's 8 out of 17. So 8 out of 17 usable weeks is DJ Moore. Top 30. Top 24, he's only got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. 4 weeks in the top 24 for DJ Moore. That's DJ Moore. That's usable weeks. Marvin Mims is not DJ Moore. And DJ Moore is still not even that good for his price. I mean, that would be interesting. I'll eat my words. If Mims is like Devontae Adams, maybe I'm wrong the whole time. We'll see Mims having a Taco Bell commercial in no time. Matthew Golden, big fan of Matthew Golden. Took a bite at the Zamir White apple. Somehow I ended up with 8% Zamir White last year. Like, what was wrong with me? It's so hard to know where and when we're going to be wrong with these best ball picks. but we got to use as much information as we can to avoid the landmines. It's better to fade a player and be wrong than it is to overdraft a player and be wrong. So, like, if I fade Mims and he's good, it's not going to hurt that much. But if I overdraft Mims and he's bad, it's going to tank my portfolio, which is what I did in 2023 when I had 20% Marvin Mims. Because if you fade him and you just take any other player at ADP and that player returns average value or like just doesn't suck, then you're going to return some value, relative value. It's value above replacement. Franklin laughing. Hey, Franklin played with Bo Nix in college. There's a shower narrative. Franklin is a bomber. We don't have to look at Franklin. Franklin's not that good either, but I'm not really arguing Franklin. I'm definitely arguing Pat Bryant. Yeah, Dobbs could be a good fit for the Jets, actually. So my exposure, I don't even know what my Roshan exposure is. I guess I could look it up. I had it. I just set to all tournaments, and then if I looked at Roshan, it's not very high. I have like one Roshan. That's a couple Roshan teams. 7.7. I'm right at the field. 7.7% versus Swift. I'm also 7.7%. A little bit more money, I think. But in the big board, I have like an insane amount of Swift, and Hartman, among others, in the chat were shaming me for drafting Swift at pick 120 week after week. And look where we ended up. I just got lucky. I guess he didn't get replaced. If Dobbins ends up going to Chicago, Swift is kind of dead. Not dead, but like he's not a good pick. Tons of Roshan. Nice. Roshan, he's probably going in round 16 or 17. He's starting to move up. What's his ADP right now? This is Eliminator, so it's going to be a lot higher in the Eliminator. In the Eliminator, Roshan goes pick 172. I think in Best Ball Mania, he goes like pick 176 or 180. Hartman with more Mims propaganda. I can't right now. Consider 8 points usable. Gotta raise the bar a little bit. He doesn't have to Devontae Adams. Yeah, I don't think I'll Devontae Adams. There's no chance. There's a big difference. Devontae Adams is one of the best collegiate profiles you've ever seen. Go Google Devontae Adams Fresno State and look at his stats. He puts up insane numbers at Fresno State. Off the top of my head, I think he averaged 1,400 yards a season and like 8 or 10 touchdowns. Insane numbers. It's probably more than that. So what Devontae Adams ended up doing in the NFL is just like is a sneak preview of what he was already doing in college. He just had to get up to speed with Rodgers, who doesn't really like rookies, that kind of thing. If anything, Devontae Adams helped Aaron Rodgers just as much as Aaron Rodgers helped him, even though Rodgers was a 2-time MVP. But like Devontae was there for both of those in his prime. Mims had middling production at OU. He was not that good. We're still talking about Marvin Mims, but it's all right. Marvin Mims college production. I'm looking it up. It's been a while. He's pretty good. I'll give it to him. He's pretty good. 610 yards when he was a freshman. I think he was actually 18, so true freshman. That's not bad. Sophomore year, 700 yards, only 32 catches. His junior year, he had 1,083 yards, 6 touchdowns, 13 catches. So actually decent, better than I remembered. For some reason, I thought his best season was 700 yards, but he had a better year than that. So not terrible in college. Elijah Moore on the Bills, dead. I don't know. The Bills have been a dead landing spot for wide receivers for quite a while. Amari Cooper died on the Bills. Curtis Samuel died on the Bills. Somehow, what's his name was actually pretty good. Barefoot dude. It'll come to me. Can't think of it though. Getting late. Barefoot man. You know who I'm talking about. He'll be on the next thumbnail. Not wearing shoes. I don't know. I thought Elijah Moore was good. I liked Elijah Moore in Dynasty, but I think it's just maybe too late. Elijah Moore, that approved. Okay, well, maybe I should be back on. Doesn't have to be. Yeah, it doesn't be Adams. I agree. Matt Collins. That's the name. Footman. So Xavier Legette with T-Mac. I think T-Mac's the real deal, so he'll be good there. Maybe he allows Xavier Legette to fit into a different role in the offense that he can actually be good at. So that's all I've been hearing lately is that maybe Legette can have a decent second year. Hopefully he comes back from the foot injuries and all that. That's kind of a concern. But that's going to do it for tonight. We did a ton of research. We talked a lot about Marvin Mims. You guys might be winning me over. I think I'm 99% out on Marvin Mims and I'm 1% in. So you guys got me to move the needle a little bit, but it was fun. We'll do more eliminators soon. Come back tomorrow night, Fast Draft Friday, and then jumping over to Nick Box channel late for some, well, not that late. I mean, earlier than right now, but for some eliminators on his channel. Mims to the moon. Okay, well, Thad, now I'm back in. That's all I needed to see. Peace. Catch y'all later. Have a great night. And appreciate you. See you guys. See you, Hardman. The most talked about is Marvin Mims the most talked about wide receiver in the NFL? This is sad. All right. Bye, guys.